I think I know what this is. You see, Stan, as you get older, things that you used to like start looking and sounding like shit. And things that seemed shitty as a child don't seem as shitty. With you, somehow the wires have gotten crossed and everything looks and sounds like shit to you. It's a condition called being a cynical asshole.
Oh no.
Yes. And there's no known cure, I'm afraid. Everything just seems shitty and everyone starts to seem shitty and everything they say just starts...
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
Yes, Mr. Sherman, everything stinks.
Mockery.
Oh, Master, I do not trust you. I cannot trust you or anyone ever again.
Leave them to me. I have you not. All too easy. What?
Come.
Begin.
Kids with your loud music and your Dan Fogelberg, your Zima, hula hoops, and Pac-Man video games. Don't you see? People today have attention spans that can only be measured in nanoseconds.
I'm too old for this shit.
Okay, they're talking about fictional characters. Fictional characters. Am I getting through to you at all?
All we are is dust in the wind, dude. Dust. Wind. Dude.
You hate to do it, but at the same time, it's hilarious. Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Saturday Night Sith. I am your host, Fractured Filter, and with me, as always, my most excellent companion in all this, my friend, my co-host, you name it, whatever, Jay Hitman. How are you tonight, sir?
I was doing better before I watched this episode of Bad Batch.
Well, aren't
Friday.
we all?
I think it was, Friday we were talking and you had said something very interesting and I wanted to kick you in the shin from afar because of my
I tend to
love
do
for
that.
you. It will go down in infamy. You said it and I tried my hardest to ignore it. Like,
oh boy.
And then watching this episode, I don't know. I just got a very, I'm going to say this and it's probably going to be wrong, but for whatever reason, I got a very Outbound Flight feel to this episode. I've not read the book. I've not read the book in its entirety, but for whatever reason, I just felt like this
from the Bad Batch episode?
Yeah, I don't know why. I think it's just because I feel like that, like this episode, maybe not this episode, but it's all going to lead down to the Heir of the Empire. Ahsoka, like it's.
That's kind of what we've been talking about for a while, isn't it? Because it feels like all roads are pointing to this to some degree, that they're going to be doing their own iteration of Heir to the Empire, while at the same time as they're also leading everything towards the sequel trilogy. It's just a mess,
Yeah.
And it what an opener for this too. It should come as no surprise to anybody that this is the path they're going down, one way or another. Like this shouldn't, in all real, and I understand there are people that they cling to a degree of hope that, something's gonna shake things up over there at Lucasfilm. Something's gonna change. Something's gonna spark whatever comes to their minds that we will get the better stories. We will get the true canon to some degree. When I'm sorry, but that was the idea of, on top of it all, the idea of Disney Lucasfilm retconning their trilogy and admitting they had any degree of fault in what they made and everything is just, well, I have to say it, but it's just delusional, because that was never going to happen. Never, ever. They were never going to admit any degree to that. And like it is, all roads lead to the sequel trilogy. All roads lead. And, this is a funny thing, like it is kind of queuing back to what you brought up with the heir to the Empire. It's like, they're going to try and squeeze something as a big of an event as that into this timeline, where, if anything, that should now, if you're going to try and do something like that, try and do it after your sequel trilogy. Not just dedicate a TV series. I mean, having it as a TV series at least would lead it open to fleshing a lot of stuff out, but we know they aren't capable of really doing that. So even then, it'd be like, you'd want this as a big event that's going to leave an impact, but just relegating it to this timeline. And you're gonna have
what is this timeline? They came in one. They don't like it. It's like
a Mandoverse.
But that's the thing, right? Because the Filoni and Dave sat there and they were like, well, Grogu actually we know that Grogu spent 2 years with Luke, and even more so, or less
years, apparently. That's like, the most, oh my God.
So one episode now stretches 2 years, or 2 episodes, however many episodes he was with Luke. So basically what we saw was 2 years worth of, so basically 2 classes, that was it, because Grogu slept the rest of the time.
Yeah.
Grogu slept for, out of 24 months, he
was apparently spending 2 years with Luke training. And then it's only at the end of the 2 years of them together does Luke go, hey, so in order for you to be a part of this academy, now is the time that I'm going to bring this ultimatum to you.
It's like, yeah, I don't know. I just, they can't get their timeline right, or they can't establish a timeline, and it's just
we've already witnessed that with Bad Batch, is that they have no ability to form a coherent timeline to establish what timeline we're in.
This is what pisses me off about this. So you're going to take one of my, like, I don't know about you, like, and we've talked about this, and we actually, like, we need to come up with an official, like, list of our favorite books, right? But like, you're going to take one of my beloved book, I mean, Heir to the Empire and Dark Force, I'm having a brain fart. Rise of the Empire, is it Dark Force Rising?
Yeah.
And Last Command. You're going to take these. Yeah, you're going to take these. Well, we don't know if they're going to do the other two, but you 1000% going to take Heir to the Empire and you're going to put it in a show. And this is what pisses me off about this, is that somebody at Lucas, at Disney, Lucasfilm, has obviously either one, read these books, or two, know about these books, or know about canon, and have the audacity to be like, well, we're going to make a show out of it because, we're going to, basically we're going to take Heir to the Empire and we're going to adapt it because we actually don't like how the story went, but we're going to insert Ahsoka and have Ahsoka be the one that actually thwarts Thrawn. The most brilliant, one of the most brilliant, and you can call me biased, whatever, one of the most brilliant admirals. It was a grand admiral. Like, there's nobody within canon. And this is more of I would say a question for probably Tim and Alora, but to my knowledge, I don't know if there's another admiral that was as militaristically, is that a word?
Yeah.
Militaristically, savvy as Thrawn.
Right.
Here's the thing. when I tell people that, Thrawn or Tarkin was the PR guy. He was the the public relation Grand Moff, and Thrawn was the actual like military genius. Like I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Tarkin, but he played his role, how it needed to be played. But from a militaristically, just that side of things, like it was Thrawn, and you're gonna have him thwarted by not even Ahsoka, really by like this space whale octopus Ezra, this companion of Ezra.
Space Lad.
But yeah, but I was watching this episode, and I'll just say it. Like Friday, you'd said you made a comment about like they're on this planet that is very reminiscent of the planet that Cyberioth is on. And I was like,
the cloning facility, facility that the new cloning facility, I should say.
I didn't want to believe it. I was like, oh no, he's just trying to piss me off because I usually piss
no, I was being legit.
No, I now I know because here I sat, I'm like, oh, he's just trying to.
Yeah.
I was like, he's just taking the piss, and nope. I watched it there. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Because when you read these books, we've said it. I don't know if we've ever saw on the show, but we've said it like as we've had conversations. When you read the books and you do like the audio version, you literally like your mind helps paint a picture.
Yeah, it puts the pieces together and you envision it in a certain way.
So how you made this is what's so interesting about this. So you made that comment, and then I've read Heir to the Empire once, twice. I don't even remember how many times I've read it, but when that scene popped up, I was like, these bastards, these jammy bastards literally took
Trash Panda at it again.
And you think, well, and then I know people are going to be out there, but well, Jay Hammond, that's just the brilliance of Dave Filoni. He was able to, recreate a planet from Heir to the Empire that looked like, the cloning facility planet. I'm like, I'm not saying that it looked. I don't know. It was just I could see this is where
it might not be exact, but it's definitely meant to kind of replicate that look and that feel.
Yes. It's like the cloning facility, the planet, Cyberioth cloning facility meets Yavin meets I don't know, but I just feel it, man. Like I feel like and what a stupid move. Like to your point, to your credit, like what a stupid move it is to make a show of this. Like if you're gonna do it, like I don't know if I'd rather have you just totally just destroy it via a movie or a show. Like I don't know. I don't know what I would rather.
So I mean, this is kind of the funny thing.
At least with a movie, you can like repress it. Is that a word? Repress your feelings for it, or you could say like, I'm just going to retcon this.
You can rationalize it a little.
You can with a show. You have to you are subject to however many episodes that these bastards are going to do.
Well, okay, so now kind of to that point too. Sentinel had made this post. He's like, I don't want to be that guy, or I don't want to be the bad guy here, but it wouldn't change a damn thing. Because this was in reference to, if only we got to see this moment in the sequel trilogy. And, Luke, Han, Leia, Chewbacca, C-3PO, R2 all together again.
Yeah.
Like what a lot of people were expecting to see. But he says, I don't want to be the bad guy here, but it wouldn't change a damn thing. The portrayal of their characters, what was written for them, their deaths, etc. Just for the onset photo, they've been photographed with each other for 40 years. All I see here is a bunch of losers, and I mean that's effectively what their characters got turned into, a bunch of losers. These before even like excluding Filoni's Clone Wars, because there's a lot of discussion there on its own for the character assassinations that was done even prior to Disney for a lot of EU characters, but that was relegated to kind of EU characters. So a lot of people can dismiss that. So you want to first start off with Disney and who began the character assassinations in the movies. I mean, it went Han, then Luke, and then Leia. I mean, that was
well, and then people make the point. They'll make the argument. Harrison Ford never wanted to be Han. He wanted to die. He wanted to die off in freaking. Well,
Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi. Yeah.
Essentially, I mean, I always thought he wanted to be done. After Empire. But then he, I'm sure, I don't know if it's Carrie, whoever.
I think it was Lucas that said, "No, you're not dying."
Yeah. And,
but anyways,
yeah.
I came in, I was like, and I said, sad but true. Han was the first of legacy characters to get the assassination treatment, or I guess any of the, and this is again what I just mentioned, any of the characters in TCW. But going from this lot, Han, like he shot first, was the first taken out. I've said it before, they could have printed money faithfully, and I made sure to have faithfully adapting the books. And Sentinel came back with, bruh, we wouldn't be in a recession if Disney had followed the EU continuity. 40 years world of material would take decades upon decades to finally exhaust if Lucasfilm was run today like it was in 2005. Star Wars is making billions upon billions yearly with everything. And I came back with Then they because this is the main part of all this. Like it is talking about adapting the books, is that then they make it part of the marketing that, hey, these movies / TV shows are the abridged version of the books we are adapting. Want the full story? You can find these books here accompanied by their audiobooks with voices featuring the actors. Because this is kind of like what I would do if I was running Lucasfilm, right? And then, but then like I joked, I should stop giving free ideas because, that would be all they'd have to do. That's all they have to do is adapt the books faithfully. And yes, you're going to have to abridge them. But again, like I said here, you make that part of your strategy. Because then you're not only selling tickets for the movies or getting eyes on the TV shows, but then you're going, hey, there are these books that you can purchase as well to get more stuff that's filled in through the books, and then also the audiobooks. Then that's where I'd want to use the actors to maybe voice their dialogue in the books and stuff like that to still make it feel like it's part of the movie or TV viewing experience.
Well, this is what gets me.
Print money.
I cannot figure out, like, if I had this theory, and I'm turning into freaking Neotus from Star Wars theory. But
I don't think you'll ever get that bad.
No. But you just wait. Maybe we'll hit 1 million subscribers. No. But it's like I don't know if they're just intentionally trying to run this thing to the ground, or for a hope of getting. It
makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Like for a hope of getting a buyout, or this is what doesn't make sense, because they said they took canon and they're like, it's legend, it's over here, so no touchy, right? It's not canon. We don't want anything to do with it. And then, but everything, well, not everything, but there's certain characters that they decided to make shows about that are literally characters from the EU. So somebody at DSW, DFL, whatever you want to call it, somebody has to be knowledgeable about the EU. Now, you can make the argument, well, Filoni worked for Lucas for years. He was, he was his apprentice, whatever you want to say. Like, maybe Filoni does know about EU, and that's why these characters that are being made are so similar to the ones of EU. If you're going to sit there and tell me that Cassian Andor is not a rip-off Kyle Katarn, we could sit here for an hour and could talk about the similarities between the two.
Yeah,
on a broad scale.
Absolutely.
Right. So, and then we get into this, like, well, Jake Hitman, Filoni's not 100%, involved in Bad Batch. Yes, he is. He may not be 100%. He's involved. He's involved in everything. Anything animation.
If you're willing to say that about Lucas during the time of him being in charge, then yeah, so is Filoni.
Right.
You don't get to pick and choose when somebody's in charge. If you're gonna play that game, no. I'll hold you to the same standard.
Right. But and where I'm going with it, where are you going with this? Well, like, again, like this episode, It is very Heir to the Empire-esque.
Yeah.
A wooded
it's alluding to a lot going on.
A wooded planet that, has a mysterious research facility in a mountain. Well, hey man, that was a mountain. Like, bruh. Come on. Bruh. Like
that's pretty much what we got going. Come on.
Literally, like, come on now. Like, don't be stupid. Like, it's just like somebody, like, the point I'm trying to make is that, like, you want to do your own thing, then stop ripping from the EU. Are there 100%
that's just
similarities?
It, right?
Maybe not, but it's enough for anybody with a brain, anybody that is a true Star Wars fan, whether, you're a culture war realist, like, and do the EU University like Tim, or, you are like a Laura that specializes in just pretty much anything lore, right?
Yeah.
You can see that writing on the wall. Sentinel calls out a bunch of, like, I've been seeing, like, a lot of his, like, he calls out a bunch of stuff. Purist calls out a bunch of stuff. Like, all these guys that we like, so the writing's on the wall. And do what I guess at the end of the day, like, do what you want. Like, you're gonna screw it up, but like something, I think I get so fired up because Heir to the Empire is one of, like, a book that is just one of my favorites.
Dear to your heart, yeah.
It is. I mean, for you, it's Shadows of the Empire.
Empire
for both of
Bane
us,
trilogy.
For us, it's Bane, right?
Yeah.
Another one that I think you and I are pretty close on, I think, tell me if I'm wrong, is Plagueis.
Oh yeah.
It's an amazing book. Like, you and I have very similar tastes, and we hold some of these books, dear to our heart. And it's like, I just can't figure out if they're trying to intentionally run this thing to the ground to hope to get a buyout, because Disney, I think, I want, and I think Greg was, Tusk and Bob had mentioned when we had everybody on the show, I forget what episode it was, but we're talking about, like, I think the streaming platform and the streaming business, and why now Disney is having to go to, and not just Disney, but like Netflix, but all these guys are having to go for, have ads now because they're not profitable. Or
well, the like people that have talked about it, the bubble is popping for streaming services. It's not showing to be as lucrative as it was, especially with people no longer locked up.
Well, it has to do with that. It's not lucrative, but you're also pumping out just garbage content.
Yeah. No, it's again the lack, and we've talked about this quite a bit. It's the lack of passion.
Yeah.
The lack of passion, the lack of care, and people that are people that are really creative, that are there to do more than just collect a paycheck and get Lucasfilm on their resume. Because, they don't have the passion people anymore. It's no longer that. It's just the people collecting the paycheck and everything like that, because they don't really care. They aren't the fans. They aren't anything like that. They aren't those kind of people that are being brought in anymore. It's just people that want the paycheck, and they just don't care. They will do the half-assed job that they need to do to get by through the day.
So Alora,
maybe keep their job.
OG had posted it was she tweeted something. It was basically Grogu doing this ridiculous, basically the pump it on the string jump, and she compared.
Yeah, that was I had that in the intro. This I got from so for anybody listening, I got this from over on Twitter from Mr. BuggyCon, his Twitter handle. Go give him a follow, because this. I'll play it again. Hang on.
Begin. 3 points. Winner.
I mean, I just love the little Mario sound effect for him jumping around like that. It's like, really? And like he even caught is like well, we'll get into the review later, but yeah.
No, yeah, I mean 100%. So, but I think I had posted, I was like, and I'd said, it comes down to just lack of passion.
Yeah, very much so.
So
very, very much so.
This is that was just ridiculous, mind you.
Yeah.
Like literally, yeah.
Basically.
So.
Let's see here. So should we get into our Bad Batch review then?
Well, yeah. Do we want to do since Bad Batch was really just?
It's a little more of an easier one.
Nothing burger.
Yeah. All right. So hang on. I'm just getting my notes up really quick so I have them. I'll be so glad when this is done. Yeah. And we get to move on to the next train wreck, which I don't know what that's going to be yet. But
Skeleton Crew.
Is it Skeleton?
I don't know. I'm assuming.
Okay, so let me just play this really quick. We are now going into Bad Batch review.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Poor Crosshair. He seems to be getting the short end of the stick. And again, he is the guy that's basically the driving force for any plot developments that are going on for the series, it seems.
It's like he's like, it's like Book of Boba. It was so bad that they had to bring Mando in as kind of the savior of the show, and I feel like Crosshair's now.
Crosshair's kind of in that position himself, yeah.
I mean, it's sad to say it's sad when you're like Crosshair is the most interesting character of the show.
Which considering he was kind of the guy towing the Imperial line and stuff like that, you almost were expecting more to hate him and stuff like because he was on that side. But he turns out to be the more complex and at least interesting for Disney. Okay, let me make that clear. For Disney's Lucasfilms lore, he is at least the more interesting and developed character that we've gotten out of this shit show.
Yeah.
So,
saying something.
He's at least had the more interesting stories here and there and episodes here and there for what we've gotten.
Yeah.
So, but it's just funny that he's being kind of the lightning rod effectively for any plot developments. Meanwhile, the Bad Batch themselves are on nothing but not even Scooby-Doo level storylines. These are just bare minimum at best stories that are just cobbled together, thrown, and it's just filler. This is the most ridiculous thing though, right? Here they have such an amazing opportunity to take, because they seem to have been able to they were given time to make this series, I'm guessing. So that means that they know their episode limit and stuff like that ahead of the game. So they know exactly how they should be planning things out, writing stories accordingly to their full TV run, because this is the thing. This isn't like old TV where you had 20 plus episodes and you needed to fill in some dead air, some dead space here or there to, just kind of keep people entertained. No, you have your precise time, how long you're supposed to run, and your episode count. So you should be doing your damnedest to make sure you are writing and producing things accordingly. And I'm tired of, honestly, people using this one particular show as an example, but unfortunately it's the only one that I can say it currently is Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
It's one series that's out there that they have basically designed their show accordingly to tell the story that they are meant to tell for each of their seasons. Now, I haven't liked all the seasons, and I have a lot of problems with especially in particular season 1. Yeah, Cobra Kai. But the thing is that they use their time effectively for each episode to tell the story that they need to tell in the story while pushing things forward, going into the next episode and the next. And they know that they have it's like a 10 episode run, 30 minutes an episode. They do the time that they need to do. They're in, out, boom. They're effective with it. And you would think for as long as Savior King himself, Dave Filoni, has been at this, he would be a little more efficient at the way he is using his time and story processes and everything like that to tell some more engaging storylines instead of just the filler crap that we've gotten through all of this. I mean, just to kind of jump ahead really quick, the Mando episode was basically filler with, again, that minuscule amount of some story elements to push the things forward a little bit, but just a little bit.
Yeah.
And that has an even shorter run than Bad Batch. Bad Batch has 16 episodes. There is no reason for this many episodes for this season to feel nothing but a bunch of empty waste of space fillers. It's
for sure
sad. I
mean, you said I think, but here's the thing, though. Like, I've always thought that Favreau was more of the Mandalorian guy, and Filoni was more of like the animated guy. Which, I mean, is that not
because Filoni did spend time with Ruin Johnson and everything? That was where he got the taste for doing live action. So he has helped with both the live action stuff and the cartoon
I'm just saying
stuff.
Because, and I'm not giving Favreau like credit or anything, but I guess the point is, like, when you watch, like, I don't know, like any of the MCU movies, it's I don't know, man.
Wasn't Favreau only really responsible for like Iron Man 1 and maybe 2?
Yeah, maybe.
And then he just acted the rest of the time, like he stepped
Probably.
away from directing.
Probably, I don't know, but what I'm trying to make is like, no, I mean, I agree.
Sorry, yeah,
it's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense, and 16 of these episodes, man, 16 so far, and only like 14, I would say, have really been actually somewhat tolerable. And the only reason why they were tolerable was because they put Sheev in it.
The one episode we got with good old Sheev featured in it, but only for like a few minutes.
But here's the thing, though. We have not seen anything from Rampart. So it's like they brought Sheev in.
Yeah, what's happened with Rampart? They were like they were using him as the main bad guy
as the scapegoat, but we haven't seen him once.
Yeah. But now it's like, oh, he isn't the one that's going to leak their whereabouts or anything to the Empire or tell the Empire, hey, Clone Force 99 is still out there. No, in this episode, they basically and so obviously tricked Crosshair to kind of revealing that they're out there, getting that message out and stuff like that. It's, oh my God.
It goes
but we just we lost Rampart all it's like, okay, so he was acted to be the main guy and now he got thrown under the bus and he's completely gone. What?
Yeah.
I mean, at least, hey, Tarkin made an appearance this week. We now know what he's been up to, I guess.
What? I mean, other than what?
I don't know. So. I mean, okay, so I mean the whole thing with this episode too is that it starts out with them showing that they're transporting clones in handcuffs for whatever because
they asked
going to this
questions apparently.
Well, and they're being transported to this, mad scientist Frankenstein kind of guy for whatever reasons. I'm guessing he's kind of repurposing the clones, as it were, for whatever experiments he's doing. But, it was really funny too, because I was like, when we first got this other Imperial that was in charge of this prisoner transport, I'm like, oh God, another generic evil T Imperial officer that's gonna be incompetent as all hell. Yay, lovely. Here we go again.
Yeah,
but again, this is the weirdest thing. This is still the weirdest thing to me. Like, I understand them decommissioning the clones and stuff like that, but they don't even give like the sufficient reason for it.
Yeah.
They didn't really bring out, like, say, Sheev or or Tarkin to say how, yes, we are going forward with decommissioning our clones because they did their job of helping defend to defend the Republic, to give us our way to being this great grand galactic empire. And they are now going to, be peacefully retired away. They don't have to fight anymore. But now we call upon you, the people. You are now the ones we want to help defend this empire, because though you will be the life force of this. So we need you, basically, the whole, I want you to be joining up for the empire and serving to, like as bringing peace and prosperity to our new empire, kind of like how they had it in the Revenge of the Sith book. You could have had they could have really played a lot of that up and given better, more fleshed out reasons to why they're decommissioning this effective, loyal fighting force that is these clones. They could have that right there. I think it would have been a fine enough reason, especially if they fleshed it out just enough and really, breathe life into that. It would have been like, okay, then I can see that a little better than just basically the Empire turning on the clones and going, oh, you pathetic creatures, we no longer need you.
Right.
I just not see it. I'm not following. I'm completely like, wait, what? Why are you suddenly, where's this attitude really coming from? Especially when you know how effective they are, that they're efficient, that they're loyal, they'll do anything to be soldiers still.
I don't know if it comes down to like, I don't know. You brought up the fact that like the de-aging, I don't know. I'm now just trying to make. I think now once again I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure out why.
It's just one big. That's just it with these series. It's just one big. Why? Any of this? Like, please, I'm asking here. I would like to know, but you seem to be incapable of giving me the answer that I'm looking for.
I think it just comes down to the fact that nobody would be stupid enough to ask the question.
Well, they think they're the people that are watching this are too stupid to ask why.
Yeah,
that's just it. Like they don't treat their audience with any degree of that they're an intelligent lot.
No,
mostly just condescension.
Yeah, no, 1000%. So, and that don't ask the questions, just consume product.
Don't ask questions. Just consume product and then get excited for next products.
Basically, that's what they want out of people. And that's just it. That's what, Raging Rhino points out every week with his seal of the week. They are getting just that. They're getting their people. They're just clapping for all this bullshit.
Yeah. Somebody's got to be asking the question. Like, surely somebody has to be asking the question. Somebody has to, like...
If they did, they were probably fired.
Well, I'm just talking about even these Disney... Like, you think, like... no Disney SEAL is going to be asking a question. Like, they're just... How do you not?
I don't know. I wonder how much is like... Because especially when they put out their little reaction videos, a part of me does wonder how much of it is an act and how much of it is legitimate. And are they like off camera having at least a degree of discussion of going, what the hell?
Yeah.
I even was talking today with somebody that watches and likes Mandalorian, and she was even kind of going, I'll put her in the private chat.
Oh dear. I already know who it is. Check here. I knew it.
Yeah. But even to a degree, they were like, what I was kind of telling them, they're like, oh yeah, there was some of that. But I mean, they were at least honest with why they liked the show and everything. I'm like, all right,
was it because Grogu?
Also Pedro Pascal.
Of course.
I was like, hey, at least you're being honest with your favoritism on it. That's more than what you'd get from a lot of the Disney seals. So I'll at least.
What is up with him? Every female seems to love this guy.
I don't know. He's dumber than bricks, so I don't know.
His mustache.
We'll get to that when we hit Mando. So long tirades here. So I will say I initially thought we were gonna get Echo, Cody, and Rex attacking the transport that was taking these clones elsewhere, but I was wrong. We got Echo though. Echo is a part of this little clone group.
Came out of nowhere.
Huh?
Came out of nowhere. Echo.
And I was wondering, like, how the hell did they get the funding for that ship in such a short amount of time? But that gets revealed to who was behind it. But, yeah, and I was like, okay, Echo and some other clones doing just that. We get them, but I did bring up the part of where did they get the funding for this ship so quickly? But they raid the ship and everything like that, and even get to the Imperial officer, which then the Imperial officer we didn't even really get much time with, thankfully, and he just toothed himself. Which I'm like, oh wow, so they're still keeping that around, eh? I mean, hey, at least he did that. So I was like, all right, well, we don't have to suffer another incompetent Imperial. Although I guess his incompetency was letting the ship get taken, but hey. Oh, hey there, Brandon. Welcome. It says other new clones we've gotten introduced in Bad Batch Season 2 so far, like Wilco, Cade, Slip, Mayday, Nemec, and Fireball have all questioned their orders. Maybe Season 2's theme is rogue clones. That's been part of it, is the whole cloning aspect more, and basically how they're still being continued to some degree with this like Frankenstein tier scientist that's now taking over for the cloning and trying to get hands on the more quote unquote pure sample through Omega, which is just kind of funny considering, hey, don't you know that there's also Boba out there? Why isn't he kind of getting brought up?
It's the wrong timeline.
I guess so.
Wrong timeline, right?
Wrong freaking timeline. But yeah, the tooth chip thing. And I caught it. They had a little Imperial music cue. I don't know if you caught it.
When the Imperial ship came in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, and there's the imp music cue, seal clap initiated. And that whole thing kind of passes and goes, and we get now to cross.
They did the full thing though. They only did
it was just enough to catch, but not enough to stay around for too long. But then it's we find out that Crosshair is still alive. He's still in the torture or the mountain facility.
Where's Sci-Fi off? That's my question.
Well, I'm sure there will probably be hints to this somewhere down the line, or if like it is just something entirely new, but still taking the place of that, Yeah. But I kind of was like laughing. I'm like, this Imperial scientist is kind of retarded. Crosshair has been disconnected from the Bad Batch for some time. He wouldn't know what's changed, and I'm thinking this makes zero sense. I kind of get proven a little bit wrong, considering Crosshair still knows certain frequency things to send messages out to them.
Plan 88.
Yeah, that was it. So I was like, as the blue gal, I forgot her name. She's the one that was behind the little operation for the ship and the clones and stuff like that. Yeah. And then I said, because they on there they were getting the data banks from that clone ship or whatever, or from the transport prison ship. So, but the guy they were trying to delete it, but this is how they found their way back to the Bad Batch. Is that now? Echo knows somebody, Tech, that can basically decrypt or hack into information very easily, or at least certainly slice data to retrieve it and stuff like that, because that's the whole goal, to find out where they were taking these clones. And that's how they're going to be basically led to Crosshair. I thought I was wrong on that. what my prediction was, which was somehow that planet was going to get attacked by the Imperials, or somebody was going to be sent to kidnap Omega, or like the stupid Trandoshan Sid was going to sell them out and to the Empire because they've been shining her. That was going to be how, Sith, they were going to be led to the Bad Batch and Omega being captured, yada, yada, yada. But no, it seems like they're going to be probably making a rescue mission for Crosshair. But this is how now Echo brings this information and data to them to find out what's been going on. Let's see. This lady seems a bit official. I'm trying to remember what that was referenced to. Oh, the clone. So this is the thing. These techs or whatever that is in this mountain facility, I'm suspecting are also clones.
The girl or the two guys that they
girls.
The girls.
Yeah, so not the main scientist guy, but the
girl with the weird goggles.
Yes,
you think she's a clone?
I think she's an experimental clone that's based off of the clones that we know, and maybe add accelerated aging to be an adult.
Did you get that based off her accent?
Her accent and just the way she looks. To me, was like, I've got this weird feeling. Hang on, let me try and get a good shot of her. Let's see. I want at least kind of a close-up of her. I know this episode was certainly focusing on her a good bit for what was going on. Oh, darn it. I had a... There we go. So I don't know. To me, I've got the feeling that she's going to be revealed as a special clone based off of the current clone stock that the guy's been getting and been working on and experimenting with since they decommissioned the Kaminoan's place.
Yeah.
And he's probably been working on this even prior to all that. So I don't know. It could just be me, but I've got this sinking suspicion that is probably what could be revealed in the last two episodes of what exactly has been going on at these mountain facilities for what's been going on. Because I've got a feeling that the guy has been, basically either like turning the current clone stock that he gets into goo and repurposing them for cloning and stuff like that. And he's been making more genetic tweaks because, again, they are doing a lot to try and fill the gaps and make sense with their sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of this cloning stuff is also going on. While, yes, Brandon has a point about, the whole clones and stuff like that, but it's also into trying to fill in with the whole Snoke clone, Emperor clones and stuff like that. That's what it's all trying to fill in. So
you say it a lot. All roads lead back to
the sequel trilogy. Yeah. to the Disney trilogy.
I just want to give a quick shout out, if you don't mind, to
Simon. Go ahead.
Simon Pegg, you're a shyster. Don't ever just go away.
You've been seeing those tweets cropping up from the Sentinel, haven't you?
Yeah, well, shout out to Sentinel for really catching it, and yeah, shout out to Peg.
Oh yeah. Peg's been a twat for quite some time, and what's kind of funny too is considering he took part in the Star Trek movies, which were hot dog water. So
the hottest
of hot.
Yeah, so I just want to give a shout out to Sentinel because I saw that. I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
Oh yeah. He, like, people have said it. Simon Pegg was probably a big lightning rod for a lot of the negativity towards the prequels and stuff like that. At least, and besides just the mainstream media, but
yeah.
Anyway, back to this. Where were we? Yeah, so I've got that suspicion that's what's going on with some. But anyways, the whole thing was really funny because I'm like, there was I just kind of had sorry, I'm kind of getting a little sidetracked here, but I pointed out, and even in my notes, I was like, so she's helping Crosshair. This is either a ploy to gain his trust for information, or is legitimately helping. It could be either or. My suspicion though was more leaning towards it was to let him go to, get him to lead to this whole revealing where Clone Force 99 is, so they can get their samples and get the help of the other Kaminoan.
You think she's helping him or no?
I don't think she's helping. Now, at least not. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm leaning more towards she's helping the main scientist guy who's in charge of this whole facility.
Yeah.
And so the Crosshair, manages to quote unquote escape from his confines. And it's like, and he starts, starting to fight the troopers and stuff like that. And I said, I know, because there came to a point, and I was like, I know Crosshair is a good shot and all, but really, come on, even with that steam messing with the troops, he was able to pull off that shot.
What a shot, dude. What a shot.
I know, because, man, these new quote-unquote troopers are the first signs of retard stormtroopers. It was basically that. They are basically that. They're basically the first signs of the stupid stormtroopers we're going to be getting. It have been getting for some time now.
Yeah. They can't shoot.
And, so while Crosshair's making his way out, we do cut away to the Bad Batch just hanging out on this planet. And I found it really funny considering the fact that they seem like they're settled in for the most part. Why are they still wearing their armor? Why aren't they in civilian clothing at least?
Good question.
I mean, I don't see the point of still wearing armor and stuff if you kind of acclimated to this new setting and are like, you know what, we're staying here, sort of thing. So why not? It just, I don't know.
They gotta be always ready for battle.
Yeah, I guess so. But it's just basically another, like it is with this segment with them. It's just filler. Because that's all it is. It's just them spending time on the planet. Omega's being trained to pilot, which will probably come up in the last 2 episodes for a particular reason. But anyways, that's kind of the it. And I was like, and then we finally, after they kind of do that whole bit, because then Echo arrives to the planet, but we finally get Tarkin back into this, but only for a moment. I think he was talking to this Royce Hemlock.
Yeah.
The scientist guy. But yeah, so eventually Crosshair, while he's making an escape, he gets to a security console of some kind, or communications console, sends out the message as best as he can. And I said, so this is how they find out about Crosshair, and Crosshair borked putting out the message to Bad Batch. Hunter's got his mind right. Yes, it's a trap. And I hate that we again got another "it's a trap" line, but I mean he wasn't wrong in that they're probably being set up for something, which is going to be what's going to be put into this. And at the end of all of it, too, it in my notes, I was like, oh, God, Royce's assistant is another Omega tier clone, isn't she? F you, Filoni. I just can't help but suspect that's what's going on, is that they are some Omega tier, quote, clones, or just more experimentations on genetic manipulation and stuff like that.
I mean, I don't know.
I could be wrong. I very well could be wrong, but it just is. I don't know. I think between like some of the facial close-ups of seeing Crosshair and then her, I just kind of got this, like I said, this weird suspicion that not only are we going to get some focus on them, on her, in like these last 2 episodes, but there's gonna be like the reveal that there's some kind of clones or some kind of genetic experimentation of that cloning. It's just a suspicion, but you know, that's kind of where I was at with that. I don't know what anything you wanted to point out in particular.
I mean, I was just thinking that eventually, since we got Botox Karen has feelings for Mando, I just figured this clone had feelings for Crosshair.
Possibly? I don't know.
Eventually, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it could be something that like that, or like I say, there could be the close bond due to being fellow genetic experiments. It could be that. I don't know.
I don't know. I think deep down she's playing both sides of the field. She trying to follow orders, but I think she'll end up having feelings for. I don't know.
Brandon says, is it just me, or does the new villain Dr. Hemlock has vibes similar to Cillian Murphy's Scarecrow from Batman Begins? The gas was a reference to fear toxin.
I mean,
I didn't
actually.
I didn't take it as a reference to fear toxin and everything, but I can kind. Now that you mentioned that, Brandon, I can see that.
Brandon makes a good point because they already stole Swamp Thing.
Yeah, they did. They did indeed.
I could see that being a fear toxin. They stole from DC.
Well, it was a toxin, but it was more like
Marvel's good enough, so they have to steal from DC.
I mean, it was just kind of like I just took it as like a knockout gas sort of thing. So I didn't quite take
because Hemlock was talking and his voice was like reverberating like the Des and the fear toxin. So that's a good point Brandon brings up.
I mean, hey, like I said, I can see that now. Yeah, I didn't take it that way initially. I just took it as a knockout gas, and that this guy has, like he said, an immunity to it because he created it and he exposed himself to it enough to, be able to withstand it. So I was like, all right, so yeah, he's that dedicated. Okay, I get it. You're trying to build up your villain. Okay, good for you. But I didn't take it anything beyond that. But that's a good call. I can see that. So yeah. Why not?
Yeah. It's just I don't know, man. This episode is it's almost it's like I wake up I get home from work every Tuesday and I'm like, do I stay up and watch this? Just Star Wars Theory he put this he does these polls and he polled, he was like, did you enjoy Mando episode 4? Yes or no? And I just for giggles, because when you reply, you can see what percentage. It's like 81. It was like 8% said no, and I was included in probably the 8% because I absolutely said no, and 81% people said yes.
Well, you have to remember, and this is something that's been pointed out, is that at this point, basically, Star Wars Theory is pretty beholden to his fan base. And after he stepped a toe out of line, once I heard is that he then course corrected and now has gone the full shill route, as it were.
I remember.
And so he's basically the people that watch him are the same same Disney seals that are.
Well, shame on him then, because he has come out. I've heard him come out and defend George on multiple occasions, but now I don't know so much if he. I don't know, dude. I just good on you. That's your job. That's how you make your money. But again, like, can you imagine if you and I started this like we did, and then we just were like, well, we're not making any money, we're not really monetized, or we're trying to get monetized, so we just turn on like just Tam and Laura and everybody and just do our own thing and
do a 180 and go full Disney shill.
Just Disney shill, so we can get money out of it. Like, I'm not saying that's what the dude's doing, but like, if you build
clown foolery, what clown foolery?
Yeah.
Hope you're not talking about us.
Buffoonery.
Yeah, we're buffoons.
I'll be a buffoon. I don't care. You keep your $1 million.
No, yeah. I mean,
for $800, I don't care. But
I know I couldn't see myself doing that just because it's like I'm conditioned not to.
One, I enjoy having a job, and two, I just couldn't do that as a full-time job. Just to create content, and then just to toe the line. Of like,
the whole towing the line thing.
I just still to this day, and I'm gonna have the same stance on episode 60. I'm gonna have the same episode on episode 100 if we get there. 200, 400. I don't understand how you can be a true Star Wars fan and like what they're pumping out. Maybe it's because like one of our first episodes we were talking about what got us into Star Wars. Like,
okay, good. It's in reference to Star Wars Theory.
Yeah, like my uncle is the one that got me, into the toys, the movies, then I started with, I think I knew a little bit about the EU growing up, but I didn't know as much as I did now and as I do now. And I just don't understand how you can like this stuff. People actually like it. They're like, oh, Commander Cody, I love him. Like, Cody was a cool character. Don't get me wrong in Revenge of the Sith, but oh, Rex, we're beholden to Rex. And oh my gosh, Ahsoka, did you know that Ahsoka has a crush on Rex? Actually, Ahsoka, for any of you that don't know, Ahsoka has a crush on Anakin. Well, had a crush on Anakin, and now she has a crush on Luke.
Oh, don't you start that now.
Don't argue. You know it's true. Every time we argue about this, you're the one who said, you gotta ride it like a mom.
You have.
And then and Luke is smiling at Ahsoka like, hey, Aunt Ahsoka. Auntie Ahsoka. But yeah, I just don't get it. And then, like I've told you this, I've talked to people like, well, this is 100% what George would have wanted, based off what George liked. Like, I was talking about back when Book of Boba came out, that episode with Cad Bane. Somebody who is a George Lucas fanatic apparently told me that you basically in a roundabout way that he loves westerns, and this is actually like how George would have done
right.
it. Like,
kind of
little
love letter to westerns and stuff like that.
Yeah. First of all, George actually had the wherewithal to actually make costumes, and not like these, I don't know if you caught the space. And shout out to Tim and his show and what he does and what he brings to the table. But he said that these costumes look like he went for 1980 style Halloween spirit costumes. That these, and it's true.
Basically,
it's like, and you can't figure. It's like Favreau doesn't know that aliens are in Star Wars, and Filoni does. But the ones that Filoni creates are just like nobody. Like a Rodian.
No, what they created for the trilogy, those aliens were just god awful. I don't know why they were trying to create their own stuff for probably royalty reasons and stuff like that. So they had to pay anyone. I mean, my God, they were so bland.
Rodian is probably the most simplistic alien that you could probably make. It's not I don't think it's that. You can't even get it right in the Book of Mando. My goodness, he's got rubber fingers trying to dig for a watermelon. The black melon. And it's just... Oh, and then Cad Bane. Anybody who thinks Cad Bane was actually look good, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I heard, Brandon. I heard about Theory apparently having some sort of weird thing about the bricks and stuff. I heard about the bricks, yeah, for Andor. I didn't look into it. I didn't care, but I heard about his apparent dislike of some of that stuff from the Andor finale. I mean, there was a whole lot going on with the Andor finale that I didn't like, and that the brick thing didn't bother me.
What about the brick?
There's something about the bricks at the end of the Andor finale, with the whole ceremony of the funeral and stuff like that. I never looked at, like I said, I never looked into his reasonings for it. I didn't really care.
What am I missing?
Star Wars Theory didn't like the Andor finale because of bricks and screws.
Why?
Which I don't know what his reasonings for it all was. I didn't care. I didn't look into it, so I don't know everything on his thoughts on it. Like I said, the context of the bricks, didn't bother me. It was just silly though when they started, of course. Their whole symbolism for it was to have, them throwing bricks at the cops and stormtroopers and stuff like that. So that was basically their whole symbolism there. I got it.
Oh, and he didn't like that because of bricks would be thrown at.
I don't know. I don't know what his reasoning was. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what Star Wars Theory's reasoning was.
Interesting.
But I heard about it, and that was it. Anyway,
I'll have to check it out. So yeah,
didn't mean to derail you there. Sorry.
No, I was. What was I saying? Remind me, what was I talking about before we talked about Star Wars Theory? I had a brain fart.
I know before you were talking about the poll he puts up for what people liked for the episode.
This episode. Yeah, Mando, and just 81% of people actually liked it, and I don't get it. I don't understand it. I probably never will. So
we're apparently, from going by the context, how many votes were on the poll?
I don't know. I didn't see, so I don't know if it shows you or not.
Was it on his YouTube or was it on his Twitter?
No, it was YouTube.
Let's see if I can find that really quick. I'm curious what the count would have been at. Was it the Mando episode or the Bad Batch episode?
Mando.
So it's had 105,000 votes altogether.
How many?
105,000 votes in total between the two options. But 81% of that 105K, but 81% of them love it. 19% did not.
That's interesting.
72,000 votes for the Bad Batch episode, and 65% enjoyed it. 35% did not. Interesting kind of discrepancies there.
Yeah.
More voted for Mando than they did for Bad Batch. More people, I guess, are watching Mando for his followers than Bad Batch. Interesting.
Weird, huh?
Always funny to kind of see something like that.
So yeah.
So do you have any other?
No, I just So and then when I'm gonna jump off a building. And then it's like this whole they obviously where they're out and they go back to the planet and the mayor or whatever asks them like, "Oh, you guys gonna stay?" It's like, "Well, we'd like to." and you become a crucial part of our community. And
okay, that makes me wonder. So how long has now time passed that they've been
2
on
years.
that planet?
2 years.
The magical 2 years.
Yeah, everything goes back to 2 years.
2 years, 2 years, 2 years.
2 rotations. Yeah, so they're like, it's probably and then Hunter I think says something interesting. It's like it's probably best for us if we do
what
stay there. Yeah, stay there.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if you are out of the sight of the Empire and stuff like that, and you don't want to tango with any of that, yeah, probably just stay there. What do you got? What do you got to worry about if you don't really want to be a part of any of that? Stay on your little isolated planet. Don't go and what is it? Uncle Owen said, doesn't want to get. Oh no. What it is? It was Obi-Wan saying about Owen about not wanting to get involved and stuff like that. So that's basically, I mean, if you don't want to, just stay on that little planet. There you go. You guys have a pretty sweet little gig there. Just every 10 years or whatever, they have to worry about a tsunami.
So stupid.
Oh boy. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's the question now becomes is like, okay, so what are they gonna do with those last 2 episodes? Are they gonna actually be worth a damn for the Bad Batch? I think they're gonna be dropping both of them, right?
Please don't.
If I remember correctly, they were. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. But I think that was the plan for them. Let me double check that. Let's see, episode. Up. I want to say that they're going to be doing it the double drop. Yep. So the summit and Plan 99 is scheduled for March 29th, which is next week. So yay, 2 episodes in Mando.
We're going to have to break it up. I don't think I can do 3.
But I mean, it's funny because we're already 4 episodes? Let's see. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 episodes in for Mando, and we got 4 more to go. I mean, Jesus, short season, man.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yep. Well, now shall we go into old not Bad Batch, Mandalorian?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Okay. I love it. I still need to get the Perrin clip of him saying so sad and boring.
You look it up.
I tried on YouTube. Nobody has just the clip of him saying that. It's disappointing. I don't remember what episode it was of Andor that he said it. So I'm like, oh God, do I have to go fishing for it?
Probably should.
Probably. Yeah, so Mandalorian, chapter 20, The Foundling.
Filler episode.
Yeah.
I felt like it was.
I mean, for the most part, it was very unnecessary. The only thing that you could say is that we got to see them doing some training, all the Mandos together. But what does it really amount to? Because some of it is just goofy as hell. How is it that you have two people shooting flamethrowers at each other and not either of them getting lit on fire, because they're not just gonna collide like that? I even had it in my notes. I said, I don't think they know how fire works, because they'd both be on fire right now when they were both shoot. I mean, at least like it is. Hey, they at least remembered they have flamethrowers on those on their wrists, but it's not exactly being used or
the right way or the proper way.
But yeah, it's then they kind of have Grogu sitting around, and you think he's doing Force stuff when really it's just. And I could tell, I was already like, yeah, that's like a bunch of hermit crabs basically in front of him moving around. He wasn't doing squat. But they are definitely trying to, like, I think, do this whole element of being in tune with nature. But I expected him like to eat the poor things. We know Grogu's a genocidal little monster.
Did you see that thing I tagged you in today? Or I retweeted at you? Oh, what the most just I've never been so happy when I watched this.
Yeah,
I think it's TK Taser, I think. Dazer. Yeah,
TK Disaster. The disaster trooper say, I started drinking matcha tea because the color matches the meme. When I finally catch Baby Yoda.
I just
blend up the little green rat and drink him.
I just woke up this morning and got onto Twitter and saw this, and I just immediately started laughing.
Yeah, I did. I saw that. It was pretty hilarious.
I think what I will do is I'm gonna get a coffee, get a matcha green tea, whatever, from Starbucks, and have them put Baby Yoda on it. And go around work and drink them, because there's so many people at work that love Baby Yoda.
Oh my God, it's Baby Yoda! Oh my God!
How dare you do that? It's so insensitive. You need to go to sensitivity training. It's like the Starbucks people did. I'll leave work for 4 hours.
I'm just over here like, no.
Yeah, I'll leave work for 4 hours and drink my Baby Yoda. I'm trying to even remember this episode, because like I watched it when it aired Wednesday. So like they're basically like, and then the armor's like, and you both Botox Karen, you have been redeemed.
Well, yeah, that was like part of the last recap.
But the recap. But
and like it is, like we said, this has basically been a whole her rediscovering her passion for the Mandalorians, or faith in the Mandalorians, or whatever. That's basically what this is all encompassing.
Yeah,
a faith-based system. But I don't know. Did you watch Rhino's Casual Rage this week?
No.
It was pretty funny, because this was the thing that they kind of came to the conclusion to, because him and Tuscan Bob were talking, and to explain, or to get around having to explain stuff that doesn't make sense, or to just get around explaining anything at all, they always chime in with, this is the way. And to the whole religious element thing, I'm not trying to be insulting or anything, but I found it kind of funny, is that it's kind of the way some people of faith will try to explain things themselves instead of maybe trying, or instead of explaining it, they'll say, this is like God's will, or this is what, God has set forth for you as a challenge, or whatever. It's not necessarily explaining the situation or having a reason behind it, but it's kind of the workaround, and that's what kind of this whole phrasing is. The whole "this is the way," because they love throwing it out there to really.
I just think they can't come up with anything else really clever, so they're just like they pick one phrase that has basically this one phrase is the whole dictionary, and it basically, however you say it, like if like, man, I need to go take a poop, this is the way. Or I'm really hungry today, this is the way. If I'm like fractured, what are you gonna eat for dinner tonight? This is the way.
Yeah,
it's
just the go-to. It's like saying hello almost.
It's like every country has like, well, I'm not gonna say every country, but like in Ireland, they have a phrase that's called like, "What's the crack?" And it can mean like, "How you doing? Things are good."
Kind of like how with Hawaiians they got aloha.
Aloha is like
multi-purpose word.
They're like, "Ah, man, I'm having a good day. Aloha." Or, they're the Hawaiian. You brought up that reminds me of a dad joke, because I love dad jokes, but we'll save the dad joke for later.
Yeah, Emperor Doomsday. That's kind of hot outside. This is the way.
Yeah.
Effectively that. But yeah, then we have the little duel that goes on between Grogu and the Mando kid, which was just, the whole thing makes zero sense because they set it up like a point system that each point is earned. They restart the match to earn their next point, right?
Where are the vibro blades at, dude?
Dude, I mean, there were some Mandalorians using vibro blades.
You're literally using
paintball guns.
Nerf paintball guns.
Yeah. I mean, I guess this is for the kids so they don't have to hurt each other. But I thought that's basically how the whole thing is set up.
Because
the whole thing is basically set up though, right? As a like point-to-point system that they each take turns, or at least take initiations on this fight. That once a point is earned, okay, basically go to your corners. All right, now start again. But yet, the little green rat gets to do his goofy jump over, backflip back over, and then shoot all 3 rounds. And be done with it. While the Mando kid could have done just that and been done with it, especially he was finding the whole task so tedious. It's like, well, why not just get it done with quickly? And if he had that option, why didn't he? Or am I just, nitpicking here?
I just don't. So let me ask you this: Are they using CGI in this show?
Supposedly, it's practical effects.
What is the difference? So explain for those of us who may not understand the difference between practical effects and CGI.
So basically, that they probably used a wire to pull Grogu up over the kid. But the thing was that they didn't even try and do it again or anything like that, or disguise it well enough, and then just reverse the footage so that then he backflipped back over.
We should pull up this. There's a video where Mark Hamill is talking about. He's explaining in Empire Strikes Back when he's in the Wampa cave, igloo, whatever you want to call it. He explains how he used the Force. I think he's on he was the Graham Norton show. He's on the BBC. And he was with Daisy Ridley and the other guy who played Finn. I don't know his name, but he's basically saying that there was a wire that was
right,
like a fishing line that he had. I don't know, behind his wrist or tied somehow. Like, I don't know exactly how he put it, but it was basically a wire that went through like on his hand, and that's how he grabbed it and everything. The effects in Empire Strikes Back in that specific scene, and again, you're comparing the lightsaber from this little rat thing that's jumping, but again, this is Empire was.
It's again. I mean, this has to do with directing, right? So it was about setting up the camera angles to either like hide it better or present it at a different angle so it didn't look so goofy. But they didn't. They just kind of had it very still shotted, and it came off looking really goofy because it was not. People wanted to say like, oh well, they set up these artistic or whatever camera angles. Well, they didn't really do that here. It just kind of were flat pan, and it was very silly the way it was done. And yeah, maybe this would have been a point where using practical plus CG might not have been a bad idea.
But what is the difference, though?
So I mean, to some, this was considered a practical moment, while say Attack of the Clones, when Yoda was bouncing and flipping around, that was CG. That was all computer generated. So but I mean, that still looked better than this.
So this is kind of the point I wanted to make. So Empire Strikes Back came out in 1980. So in that scene specifically with the fishing line, Luke's he's raising his hand. He's upside down, inverted, raising his hand to use the Force to grab the lightsaber. That looked 1,000. That looked as good, if not better, than some of the stuff in the prequels, right? That and that wasn't CGI. That was legit practical effect, yeah?
Right.
That practical effect back in 1980 looked better and more convincing than this thing in this scene in 2023. Right. I don't understand it. You can't sit there and tell me, not you, I'm just speaking as you're not.
No, I know.
Anybody, you can't sit there and tell me that, well, they were more advanced then or they had a bigger budget then. They used fishing line, bro. Bruh. It was fishing line. So you've got this, and this is also to OG's point. Like you played the fight scene between Dooku and Yoda in Attack of the Clones. This thing came out over 20 years ago.
Yeah,
and it was better than this scene now. I don't understand. Are you telling me that George Lucas, when he directed these movies and produced these movies, had more money than the conglomerate Disney now?
That's what I said to the person today. I was like, how is that Disney, $1 billion corporation, couldn't do anything better?
You're telling me that Disney Lucasfilm, which is under Disney, which is Disney, and you think about the companies in the we'll just say, for lack of a better term, we'll say world, but like the companies out there that rival Disney. I mean, you've got people think of like the most wealthy companies. Like, what do you think of Disney? You think of Apple. You think of, I mean, you're telling me these people can't afford some CGI? or is it because these people don't know how to use CGI?
Little column A, little column B.
You obviously have CGI because you're using jetpacks on these Mandos. Like you have access to CGI. So one, the fact that you spent, I don't know how much we need to look up how much this animatronic is worth, because this is like Grogu is an animatronic. Like Favreau took it was like Celebration.
Pretty expensive little puppet. Yeah.
Favreau took him out on like Celebration or whatever. I'm looking this up right now. Phil, that's why I looked this up.
Wait, he brought it out on stage at one of the celebrations?
Yeah. And everybody lost their mind.
They lost their collective mind, I bet.
I don't even know how to spell animatronic. Bruh. $5 million. $5 million this puppet's worth.
Jesus Christ.
So you're telling me that you spent $5 million creating this puppet when you could have put $5 million into CGI creating, I mean,
yeah.
The Yoda in Phantom Menace, before they remastered it, looked better than this animatronic. And it was not CGI. That was a puppet. if I'm not, I mean, anybody feel free to correct me, but I'm about 95% sure that the Yoda in the prequels was a puppet.
Yeah. In the first Phantom Menace,
he was
Phantom Menace. It was a
yes.
puppet until they decided to go the CG route.
So, how much is CG? You think?
What
Is
you mean
really,
in Mandalorian or in?
No, just to use CG, because CGI. I always hear people say, "Well, CGI is expensive, and that's why they're not doing it."
Yeah, it can cost
$5 million.
Amounts.
$5 million.
I think more than that for some, depending on what's being done.
See, but here's the thing, man. George Lucas is not on the same level as James Cameron, where James Cameron invents technology for his movies. So he spends an obscene amount of money.
So did George. George did the same thing.
To an extent, but not like this might be a subjective opinion, but not like James Cameron. James Cameron, like Avatar, had to make, I think somebody told me it had to make like $6 billion just to break even in theaters because of how much money James Cameron spent on the technology.
Spent on all the CG just to make the damn movie.
In the second movie, that wasn't, I had heard people were like divided on
I've heard, it seemed to be kind of a mixed bag.
It's either you liked it or you didn't like it.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know. I just don't take the $5 million that you spent on this animatronic and pump that into CGI and get, now here's the crux of this, right? Even if they did not do this animatronic and they put the money into CGI, would it really even make a difference in the quality of the show? Because at the end of the day, it's the writing that makes the show, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, if your writing sucks, if your story sucks, if you have Joby Harold writing your story, it's going to suck no matter what. It doesn't matter what kind of CGI you have or what. If the story's crap, you got nothing, right?
Right.
So the writing plays a part in this, but
absolutely.
Some of this stuff is just ridiculous. Like, so you decide you use practical effects on one side of the thing, and then you're gonna pump CGI into the other side of the stuff. Sell this guy for parts, and I don't know, use the money for some quality. Right, you could take the $5 million and hire an army of writers that are somewhat good. Fire Joby. Get rid of Deborah, get rid of Favreau and Filoni. Use this $5 million on some, like, I don't even know what their salary is. Maybe their salary is an animatronic. You know what? I think I found this out before the show. Jon Favreau's salary is this Grogu. They gave him this animatronic as his salary. No, like, it's just stupid. So we can go on a tirade. The scene was just absolutely stupid. So it was one, and just I find it very interesting that, ironically, conveniently, they found a wrist launcher the size of Grogu, because most fondlings are the size of Grogu.
Well, Emperor Doomsday chimes in with, I know part of the reason why they're currently using the puppet was because Pascal didn't want to talk to CGI in season 1. And I thought also, like, the reason, like, they have the helmet rules basically because Pascal also wasn't going to be on set that often.
That's
so
okay.
Like, let's just keep him in a helmet the whole time.
Freaking Tim brought this up last night on the Spacing, where he was like, because Katie Sackhoff, who was basically told, and from my understanding, she was told to make this tweet because you will always tweet out what Disney wants you to tweet. Like, I'm so excited to be wearing this helmet because.
It gives her a chance to use her body language. And
I can rush to the monitor and make sure.
I did write a comment I wrote a whole big thing just kind of commenting on different parts of that show from last night. But for that, I mean, that wouldn't surprise me that she was probably told to, or it's kind of a fluff tweet. But I mean, I think there are some actors out there that don't mind wearing a helmet. Or kind of covering their face, because at least from what I've heard around, the movie Dredd, which was like a new Judge Dredd movie, where Carl Urban was playing Dredd. I mean, was apparently fine keeping his helmet on the whole time, and he actually did that. So I think there are some actors, and then he pointed out the like Jason actors and Freddy Krueger from like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. And hey, they weren't winning any awards. Well, no, they weren't, because they were in horror movies during the 80s, and those movies were generally looked down upon. But at the same time, the guys portraying those characters didn't mind it. And especially, the Freddy Krueger guy. Crap, I'm forgetting his name now. But I mean,
old ones?
Yeah, the old ones.
Oh,
I can picture the guy's face.
Not Richard Harris.
No.
Oh, you're gonna test my Michael Myers knowledge.
And whoever was portraying Michael Myers, but
Robert Englund.
Robert Englund. Had played Freddy Krueger for God knows how many years.
He was
always wearing prosthetics and stuff like that for basically hiding his face to some degree. So I could see that there are some actors out there that aren't so vain and stuff like that.
Krueger specifically, like you could tell it was Robert Englund though.
I mean, I think the prosthetics were pretty heavy enough to kind of hide him a bit, but yeah,
I guess
you're not
like
wrong.
If you know the actor, I guess. Yeah.
Right, but more to like Jason or Michael Myers, the people that did those body stunts or whatever, those would be more. I mean, there was one guy that did it multiple times for Jason. So there are people that don't mind doing that. Because, I mean, one way or another, the real nerds are going to find out who the actors are that are portraying those characters. And so one way or another, they get known that way.
Yeah.
And like I said, also was like, who gives a crap really about, freaking Pedowood giving out awards for those actors anyways, considering all those award shows are basically self-flagellation anyways. I don't take those as anything serious. So, if the fans have found love and passion to celebrate these guys, that's what probably counts more than anything.
Well, and then to bring up your point, Tim, I thought brought up a good point. It's like, how do you even know that the actors are on set?
Right.
And why do you need a stunt double in some of these? Like, what are you doing? Like, what has he done that would require a stunt double? Like, why are we so far gone from the days where Jackie Chan did every single stunt? Chuck Norris did a lot of his stunts. Freaking Tom Cruise, hate him or love the guy with his crazy Scientology stuff. Like, the dude does all of his stunts.
Yeah,
Henry Cavill begged him to do the Halo jump and Mission Impossible Fallout, dude. And Tom was like, there's a whole interview, but Tom was like, basically told Henry, was like, you're not trained for this, and if you die, that's on you and it's on me.
Right.
What are you doing in this show other than falling negative? You've gone literally faster than a space whale down into this pool of water that you would need a stunt double for. What are you doing? You just want to sit. You just want to record your voice in the studio and get paid for it, and not have to sit in this armor that is the reason why you went. Oh, God, it's just so stupid. So we haven't got through the show, and it's already
we just kind of got off on
the
production elements of this.
But it's so stupid. And then it's like let's make an episode, since Chris Pratt did such an amazing job in Jurassic World. Let's have Mando meets Jurassic World, and we'll have these pterodactyl things eat the foundling whose dad is Carvisla.
Yeah, that gets revealed. What kind of
spoiler? I apologize.
No, but this is the thing. Like, I thought they were gonna kind of do almost like a little oh God, I kind of got sidetracked. Like a kind of little tale of for this foundling kid and Grogu, like with their little interaction, I thought they were gonna kind of do a little tale about don't underestimate your opponent or anything like that, and how you should treat things as serious, maybe not seriously, but like, yeah, it's just basically just like a tale of don't underestimate an opponent sort of thing. But they don't even do that, because as soon as the little match is over between the two, the kid goes over to kind of sulk, and then gets suddenly picked up by the giant pterodactyl thing.
Yeah.
Like, what? All right. So immediately we're off to the races with that. I just had to laugh because, the kid's going to be basically a snack food for this dragon thing. The Mandalorians finally remember they have jetpacks. I said they remember they have jetpacks. Now they can fight this thing better than they fought the Croco Turtle, hopefully. And then I had to laugh because they apparently then didn't have enough fuel. I was like, what the slag? They suddenly crash because they ran out of fuel. Meanwhile, Bo-Katan had the better idea of getting into her ship and chasing it that way. I mean, I'm shocked when I would have figured old Dim Jughead would have gotten his Nabooian starfighter, chase the thing that way. But anyways, she took the ship and was able to track it. The Mandalorians, even though they were as far out as they were, made it back before she did on foot, which, okay, I guess she was tracking it for quite some time. But
that pisses me off about this episode, if I could just say this, is you were literally like your dwelling, your base of operation, whatever you want to call it, is on this lake ocean thing, right? And you've had terrible luck with an alligator and now this pterodactyl thing. Like, if you're going to make camp here, would you not know of like the dangers that might pose your like around your base of operation?
Wait, so I'm sorry, say that again.
Like, okay, so your their base of operation is in this cave that's by this ocean, whatever, body of water, and they've had terrible luck with this alligator sea monster thing. Don't you think that like you would have picked up shop and moved if that was the case?
Right?
Like, yeah, you need to be by a body of water. But again, the question is like, if this is an ocean and some oceans have salt in it, and you can't drink salt water,
right?
Why are you even like? If it was me and I was camped out by this place and I had just dealt with this alligator thing that Croco Turtle that was blown up, I'd probably maybe pack my bags and maybe move up the road just a little bit.
Right.
Don't know. Oh well, Jay Hitman, like the Croco Turtle got blasted by Mando, so it's good. Okay, how silly of me. I'm sorry.
How silly are this lot of Mandalorians that they didn't even scout this area either? Like, why would you, if you just were attacked by that giant Croco Turtle thing, why would you still be there?
That's my whole point. And now you got this, and now you got Chris Pratt's, this pterodactyl escaped from Jurassic Park, and now is hungry for. I didn't think. Is this Foundling? Is this Foundling wearing Beskar? Because if that's the case, I didn't think Beskar was like you couldn't digest Beskar. I could be wrong. I mean, I don't even.
Well, that's gonna be a point of mine too. But before that, the armorer decides to take little Grogu in for some more metalworking, and now we get Grogu basically having a nom to your flashback, man.
Yeah.
Going back in time, and we get this flashback. So apparently, it's I guess Ahmed Best, who played who played Jar Jar Binks originally, but has been playing this Jedi character on some other Disney Plus TV show. So it's been funny. Like recently, since this episode, there's been a lot of humbug. And I'm going to say, if anything, if you want a deep dive, go to Open Airlock Policy, watch his spacing from last night. They do the deep dive on Ahmed Best and that whole drama.
I didn't know that this guy played Jar Jar Binks. I had no idea.
I didn't realize that's who it was until I started seeing people talk about it online. I'm like, oh, it was him. Oh, okay. Neat. But so the whole flashback doesn't make a lick of damn sense because there's a lot of questions than answers. It's called, for one, why Grogu is getting all this special protection when there's whole rooms and swaths of Padawans and younglings to be protected. Why does he have such an entourage? And then also to be the one singled out for singular rescue. Then, because, you know, the big thing with all this too is like they have this whole chase scene while he Ahmed Best got Grogu, takes it to a starship that's a new Nabooian starship with Naboo people there. Okay. Why? And how? Because this seems like it was preset. Like they were ready for Order 66 almost. And this was all prearranged. It's called, okay, so this little group of Nabooians are set up and ready to go to save Jedi. Or save this one particular Grogu in general. But you're telling me that you have this foresight and knowledge, but the senator, Padme, knows nothing about any of this at all. Zero information. She's blind to it all. Really? What? I mean, look at how much Palpatine was cued in on everything that was going on Naboo still. He wasn't in the dark on anything, practically. But this the whole thing stinks to high heavens, right?
That's the other thing that I forgot to mention when we were doing the Bad Batch. Why the hell, like, did Filoni take a play out of like Lord of the Rings where there's like the closest we are to danger, the further we are from harm? Why are they on Coruscant, the home of Palpatine?
Right.
And then to the other point, like I forgot to bring that up, but then to your point, like, where did this Nabooian starfighter come from?
Yeah, where?
Because last time I checked, Padme was crying, watching the temple burn, while 3PO was coming up to her and saying, "Can I get basically, you know, we called the Emperor's or the Chancellor's office and blah blah blah."
Yeah, there's the attack on the temple, and it didn't seem like it was a drawn out thing. Like they went in that night, slaughtered everyone. By the next day, they were out. It wasn't like this was like a 2-3 day operation. No, it was called we get in, we get out, and we take them out, and we're done.
And nobody has, to your point, nobody has ever said why Grogu. So basically, they're going. This is what they're going to do. So they're going to spit in the face even more. They're going to spit in George's face even more because George himself said he never created a race. He didn't want to create a race for, like, what did he say verbatim? He's like, I never created a race or basically explain Yoda's race. So it was always Yoda and it was Yaddle, and he didn't. I think the interview was like he didn't want to, and he never did, and never intended to. Right? They are going to spit in his face by somehow saying that Grogu is somehow related to Yoda.
Oh,
and that he is now
probably
going to be he
right.
is now, and this is now going to be they're going to set him up as now the Grand Maester of the Jedi after Luke. Because Luke was supposed to fall in that role after Yoda.
Right.
Correct. Or if I'm not,
basically, yeah.
But Luke is now this pacifist. The Luke of this Luke is a broken pacifist. Like, I don't even know if you can't even call him a Jedi, because at least a Jedi will fight if they have to.
Yeah.
You know, he's just a pacifist crying over, his Cheerios, and he's so concerned about trying to bunk off and get with Ahsoka that this, like, I could be wrong, and the more that I call out Star Wars theory, like, I become a Star Wars theory in the sense like these are just theories, but like, what if they, like, I can see them set Grogu up as now the Grandmaster of the new. Wait, don't just hear me out. We will have the new order, right, later down the line. And and when we talk the First Order, right, and then we talk about the whole rumors about Rian Johnson coming back. So what if they're going to do more movies after the sequels and somehow inject Grogu into these movies?
I'll wait to see that to believe it.
I don't know. They're not going to kill him off, and he's trained under Luke. And why is he? Just think about it. Why is he so important? They've yet to say why he's so important. They've yet to explain why.
No, they have yet to explain even. They have yet to even explain Dim Jughead.
Right, but I'm just saying they're
doing everything they can to avoid
why is
it.
Everybody, countless Jedi are being slaughtered this night in the temple, but everybody's trying to say, like, there's a lot of the high-ranking Jedi are trying to save Grogu. Why? And where's Yoda in? Yoda is obviously.
Well, Yoda's over in Kashyyyk.
Yeah, but where's Obi-Wan?
Obi-Wan is fighting either fighting Grievous. Oh, no. He got blown up by his freaking clone troopers. Like,
hold on. This is actually Star Wars canon. We don't even know if the events on Mustafar or where is he at? Order 66. He got turned on his own clones at that point in time. We don't even know if that's connected to this. You could say it is. Well, yeah, of course you Hammond is, but you don't know. They've got their whole timeline messed up, like, and they're doing their own thing. Like, who's to say?
Yeah, he's on
Utapau. I'm just saying, like, why is he so important? And where's Anakin in these attacks? He was one who.
Yeah. He happens to not be the one coming through the doors and stuff like that. When you kind of
because everybody was about to kick down the doors at Lucasfilm after the horrible de-aging technology they used. But you're telling me the Anakin, where's Anakin? He led the 501st to the front door of the temple, and where is he?
And how does Anakin not know who Grogu is? And you'd think if he's like an important target, he'd go right for him.
This is what's just so stupid. You bring him back for Kenobi, so you know that he would come back. Yet he is not in any of this show, but you're going to have a scene in this show that has to do with Order 66, but you're not going to put the main character that has who is an integral part of the Order 66. He's the one who's killing children. And Grogu's a child. So why is he not in the movie? Or why is he not in the show?
Oh, God.
You're telling me Hayden Christensen would not come back? He said he left at the opportunity to come back. The boy probably needed a paycheck. So you're going to tell a story about the most integral part of the timeline. Like, this is a major event in the timeline of Star Wars, Order 66. This is the fall of the Jedi. I'm sorry. What we would assume is the fall of the Jedi, because all of us assume that majority of the Jedi were killed in that temple, but apparently multiple Jedi escaped. According to Disney, everybody escaped.
Yeah, apparently.
Only a few Jedis were actually killed. Hey, joke's on you guys. They were all on holiday. They were on Ord Mantell eating popcorn. Or they were eating the Mantell pop with Wrecker and Omega.
The flashlight popsicle.
Yes, they were at the carnival. Like, this is so stupid. Like, you have the audacity to bring a flashback in regards to an integral part of an event, and you don't have the main character that led the assault on the flipping temple. But you're gonna have your main character of the show, Grogu, because let's be honest, it's not Din Jarhead who's the main character. It is Grogu. It's all about perspective.
Yeah. But so Brandon,
I'm done.
He says Caliquan Beak, Ahmed Best's Jedi character, might have saved Grogu during Order 66 because he trained younglings in the Jedi Temple Challenge YouTube show. Oh, it's a YouTube show. Okay. People almost mistaken Beak for Mace Windu. I don't know how they'd make that mistake. They're pretty differentiated characters, especially in the robes and stuff like that. But anyways, the question that I form is like, okay, if he's been the trainer of younglings, where were the other younglings that he's trained to save as well besides just Grogu? Why just Grogu? That's the kind of question we're bringing up. Why just the green rat? If he's the one that's trained these Padawans, these younglings, why isn't he like having an entourage of younglings with him that he's leading out of the temple and then taking Grogu along with him? Like, oh, we've almost like what coincidence? We've stumbled upon you. Join us. Let's go. Again, everything just felt so set up and makes no sense. Oh, because again, they run to the Naboo starfighter or whatever, transport ship, whatever you want to call it, and then they're taking a hike, and it's like, but wait, how did they know about this?
Here's another question for you: where the hell's Reva?
She's getting stabbed by Anakin in one of the hallways.
I mean,
and surviving.
So
then where was Ahmed Best's Jedi character to save Reva as well? Come on.
And where was Jar Jar? If Ahmed Best is here, where's hell Jar Jar? He's in the rotunda with after
hanging out with Padme.
In the rotunda with Sheev. There's so many inconsistencies. We're just on one section of the episode, but look at all the inconsistencies.
Yeah,
with because you are so hell-bent on playing off nostalgia that you have a flashback of Order 66, but you have taken that flashback and you put it into Kenobi. So you've used the flashback for Order 66 in multiple shows. So you used it in Reva. You saw what we thought we saw was Reva the kid getting, but it even says that he stabbed her as a child.
Yeah,
or he was going after her. So like, where is she at? She was a youngling, and are you telling me that out of all these younglings, Grogu's is going to be the strong? Like, he can't even walk. There's other younglings that are probably well off in their training, but like because he's of the same unknown race as Yoda, like he's just worth saving.
I don't know. That's the question, right?
I just don't get it. And I think, like I said, the most frustrating part of it is like, where is it? Here's the thing, and this is how they're going to play it. Like, well, Anakin wasn't in that scene with Grogu because he was busy trying to kill Reva in the other room. He was in the other room.
It was Anakin in the temple hall with the lightsaber.
But in one of these scenes, it looked like a lightsaber was cutting through the door, cutting down.
It did look that way at first, and I was like, "Oh, wait, are we getting Anakin here?" And then it was the clone troopers.
No. That's what they're gonna say. They're gonna say, "Well, they did the same thing in this scene as they did in A New Hope when the stormtroopers blasted through the Tantum 5." Did they blow through it, or was that again just Vader using? It's just, it looked like a lightsaber. It looked. What else could it have been?
I agree. It did. It looked.
And what other, like? Sheev's not in there. Sheev's not there. Sheev's lightsaber got kicked out the rotunda. Now he probably went and probably got it, but like, who else? There's only two: the Master and the Apprentice. Maul probably showed up to help with his animatronic leg. I don't know, man. It's just so stupid.
No, it's so. It just like it is. It just doesn't make sense. But it's just all meant to be member berries. Just look, you recognize the ship, right? Oh, look, it's all distraction from what's going on, which is bad lightsaber choreography.
And you bastards, he spent 20 plus years forgetting the worst role he probably ever played, i.e. Jar Jar, and you're gonna bring him back as a redemption story.
Like I said, go and check out the spacing. Tim and Greg really dive into Ahmed Best's little backstory of the drama, that because like even they pointed out, Ahmed Best was first pointing that it was the mainstream media, and that was mainly the reason for attacking him and stuff like that. The fan base was generally fine, or he said he had good experiences with the fan base, and then it wasn't until 2018 incorrect. No, so this is again, like I say, go to Open Airlock Policies channel, the spacing, his live show last night, the spacing, where they talk about this. Ahmed Best was in an interview with TMZ, I believe it was, where they kind of got him on the street, and they asked him about his whole thing. He pointed more at the negativity came from mainstream media and media outlets like that, and had said that he'd had positive experiences with the fan base. It wasn't until about 2018 that he started turning basically more towards saying that, oh, toxic fan bases and yada yada yada. And the whole committing suicide was more again not the fan base, but the mainstream media outlets that were trying to point out the quote unquote racisms with the character and other characters in the Phantom Menace and stuff like that. And this is kind of to what Tim and Greg were talking about on that too, was like, part of it probably came from the fact that George himself was a very independent creator. He wasn't set with the Screen Actors Guild and stuff like that. He was very much an independent maker and was able to set out his films the way he did. So there's a lot of smear campaigns. If you actually pay attention to what the mainstream media does to people that stray outside the lines, they're a vicious collective bunch of mother frickers that will do anything to destroy. And I mean, and I know like this is probably even a more touchier subject. Like look at what was done by the mainstream media and what was done to Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
they if you wanted a guy that had the potential of like straying outside their lines too, and they created a narrative real fast with what was, and to basically show who was in control, basically who kind of owned them. So this is the thing. The media has been very much and like you brought up earlier, Simon Pegg was very vocal about his disliking of the prequels and stuff like that, and of Phantom Menace and all that jazz. So, and there is, some people even point the finger at Red Letter Media that came out with some of their reviews of the prequels, but which I've heard recently they kind of went back on that a bit. But no, again, and there may have been and I think he even said there might have been the few people that shined on the character or whatever, but it was not directed at him. It was directed at the character. But then like it was until like 2018 when he got this role in this YouTube special that things kind of started to take a turn. And again, like I said, Tim and Greg do a great job laying it all out. He's got all the evidence on that, and he lays it out in that live stream. So definitely check that out.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll even do one better. I'll just drop the link right in the chat. Figures I can't. It's been popping up really quickly in my YouTube. On my YouTube recommends and stuff, and for the one time I actually need it immediately. It's not just right there. That figures. Let me get that really quick. There it is. So yeah, totally check this out because, they do a great job going over all of the information on it. Dropping it over in the Rumble and Odyssey chat as well, so it's there. Boom shakalaka.
Nice.
But yeah, so yeah, that aside, that whole nonsense. That's all I could, and that's what I've always known it to be, is that it was, it was all mostly on the media side. Like we had friends, it's like I've said before on the show, it's like my friends and I, we had our discussions, but it was, amongst ourselves. We weren't going on to the online forums or anything. So I didn't see if there was anything of the sorts. But we, we had our discussions, and that's mostly where we kept it to. But yeah, heavy subject there, but
I guess I missed the whole Ahmed Best though. I guess I missed the drama. I didn't know.
I kind of only heard about a lot of the stuff that came along much later down the line myself too. I didn't. I knew of the media. Drama? I remember mainly the media taking the attacks on the characters in the show, in the movie Phantom Menace and stuff. I remember that, but like I don't fan bases no, because like also here was OG Star Wars. She shared this.
Like what happened? I guess I don't.
Well, so yeah, so. I guess like, OG Star Wars here says, reminder, it was media backlash. Ahmed Best from a Twitter, I guess, post from 2018, it looks like. Okay, so maybe it's a little bit after 2018, but 20 years next year, I faced a media backlash that still affects my career today. This was the place I almost ended my life. It's still hard to talk about. I survived, and now this little guy is my gift for survival. Would this be a good story for my solo show? Let me know. Again, yeah. So media backlash, not the fans. Media.
The media, his portrayal of Jar Jar, and he about ended his life because of it. Is what I'm gathering.
It is. Yeah, it is a lot of negativity towards that character from the media at the time, because they were commenting on the accent and stuff like that, saying it was racist, yada yada. So yeah. But I'll say they did a much better job on the spacing.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yep. But yeah, so and I mean, hey, good for him being proud to be returning to Star Wars. Good for him. Well, he's kind of a twat. So then after the nonsensical flashback, we're back to present day with Grogu. He now has his own new set of plot armor that apparently he'll grow into, according to the armor, which I don't know how she knows that his species would even grow into anything that she's going to make for him, but okay. Because I laughed. In my notes, I'm like, I was like, what the actual freak? Kid was it? Oh no, never mind. That was previous to that. But no, it was. I just said Grogu now has literal plot armor, more so than he already did. But no, for like part of my notes too is like, because then we also get back to them with the little hunting party, because they're gonna go after the dragon thing. That, because I was like, by now the kid would have been eaten unless that dragon thing's got a surplus of meat laying around for whatever reason, like it would have already, the kid would have already been a snack. But this is also where we get some quote unquote their little Mandalorian lore, where they're basically camping for the night. And she asks, and this has probably been on the minds of some people, how do we eat? And they're like, oh, well, we all go off to our own separate sections of the area, hidden away, and we get to, and we'll all eat that way. Meanwhile, you, the leader of this party, gets the honor of staying by the fire. This is the way. And so, yeah, she Botox Karen gets to stay at the fire and eat. And to me, I'm just kind of, I mean, I guess it's tropey or whatever, but I'm like, where's the idea of camaraderie though? Because where's then the fun of them sitting around a campfire, sharing stories, eating, drinking, basically being merry or whatever, having that moment of bonding. I mean, I guess they could just without that aspect, but it's like at the same time, this kind of always seems so much of a part of it, where it is eating, drinking, merriment, and stuff like that. It's like, well, they don't really have that. They're so weirdly like become so isolationist in those moments, or is it just me that's kind of finding it weird?
They gotta eat.
Well, I know they gotta eat. I'm just saying it's like, I don't know, like the eating separately just kind of, I'm like, I get it for their whole helmet rule, but it's then also called, well, what if you're not in a proper setting for being able to do that? I mean, yeah, you're out in the wild now, but what about urban environments and stuff like that? How are you going to get away with that?
I would assume that you probably will go eat the same place where you go take a piss. Unless you have just a filtration system in your suit, which is entirely possible since you have a filtration system in your helmet, so you can stay underwater for long periods of time without oxygen, or you have an actual rebreather in your helmet.
Yeah.
Boba didn't, though. Fun fact, remember Book of Boba, he did not. When he had the money in his helmet, not a rebreather.
Nope, nothing. Not
just
a Zippo.
Just a metal cast bust.
Yep.
Just like a metal helmet with nothing in it.
Basically.
And such a letdown, honestly. But
oh well.
I think God, it's so. And then they're like, no weapons or jetpacks will wake the creature.
Right, and so they're somehow tow cabling their way up the side of the mountain.
So hell-bent, and then also it's like multiple times it will kill the child. I'm like, bro, like the child's probably already dead. It's probably already fed it to.
Well, that's just it. So they get up to the top finally after their little like Batman tier climbing up the side of the building.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Brandon called it, dude. They're stealing from DC.
Yeah. But this is the funny thing. So they get up there, and Dim Jughead is using his heat visor thing. And you're telling me that he sees this heat signature, but he cannot discern that it was 3 giant dragon dactyl things, and mistook that for the kid, in a sense. Okay. But then, of course, the big mama thing pops up, takes a moment, regurgitates the kid. And this kid, I don't know, like you mentioned earlier, if it was the Beskar or what, but he's immaculate. No guts or anything on him. No slime.
I believe said a super cringe moment.
But the kid is in perfect condition, dry as a bone. Like I said, the kid was in his stomach of this thing for how long? He's still alive, not covered in slime of any kind, and being in the digestive tract of this creature. Really?
I think this creature must have had like a secondary stomach that acted like a kangaroo pouch for the babies, maybe because maybe the mom eats.
But it regurgitated them. It was doing all
I don't know.
heaving and like
I
thought it was like
justify the stupidity of this.
Don't try to justify it. I already had the person I mentioned earlier trying to do that. And there is no rationale because that also there was no explanation for it. Oh, hey, no, I'm sorry. I've got it. This is the way.
Yeah. This is the way, bruh.
Just like the Force is female. This is the way.
You need to this. I'm gonna make a T-shirt. This is the way, bruv.
This is the way, bro. But no, it's. Oh my God! Really? Come on. Because I mean, nothing gets explained for. Nothing would have been explained for. It's just called initiate action scene now. Go. Ugh. But then the silly fight happens between the Mandalorians and this dragon creature, which again they for some reason find it a logical idea or whatever to use their tow cables on it. Because, that was so effective on the freaking croco turtle. But, getting its one wing managed to do it. But also before that, I thought it was really funny. I was like, so Botox Karen Bo-Katan just so happens to get her shoulder pauldrons damaged and knocked off of her. And I took a guess. At the moment of that happening and everything, I was like, so let me guess. She's going to get Dim Jughead's rhino thing. I thought that because, everybody's been doing the shipping thing. So I was like, oh, my brain's been infected, but that's what's going to go on, isn't it? I was wrong. But then the dragon dinosaur thing, whatever, falls into the ocean. We basically get something that could be a link to one of two references. So of course, the mosasaur from Jurassic World when it ate the pterodactyl in the movie and the poor secretary. But also I saw it as a potential for kind of hearkening back to what Qui-Gon said in Phantom Menace. There's always a bigger fish. And that was the croco turtle coming up and eating the dragon thing. So I kind of
was it mythosaur or was it the croco turtle?
It was the croco turtle. Yep. So yeah, once we
bringing Ahmed Best back and then referencing Qui-Gon and the Naboo starfighter, everything.
So this was a prediction that Rhino made. That. And I kind of linked into this too because I made part of my comment on it. They will bring back Darth Vader. He will be the big season 2 finale because they'll link this in with watch. I don't know if it's true, but this is just a theory, right? A guess. But he's like, watch, they'll bring back Darth Vader like they did Luke Skywalker for the end of the season, sort of thing, and yeah, so he'll basically kill Ahmed Best's character. And this will be like the traumatic event that has basically kept Grogu, a mute basically, or not being able to actually formulate words that is the explanation for it. Because how a 55-year-old creature at this point, right? Because he was 50 when he's first introduced as we subverted your expectations there, didn't we? By revealing it was this child, the baby, whatever. But you tell me that by now he hasn't had speech whatsoever. So, okay, we have a traumatic event that has basically kind of sealed him away on that front. Yeah. And he'll get Mandalorian therapy and he'll start talking at some point. But I agree, the moment he starts talking is when they start losing their squealing audience, because then he won't be as cute as he was when he's just gurgling.
Yeah, I think the armor will get him to talk.
Oh, you think so?
I do, because she's the one that got him to follow him. Or he got him to follow her.
True.
I think she's this mysterious character just like him.
Oh,
God. I think she's gonna be like the grandma or the aunt of, the grandma that everybody loves, and I don't know.
We'll have to see, right? But then they return with the kid. After we also had learned that it was, what was it?
Tar Vizsla.
Tar Vizsla's kid. which is like, okay, is he biological or adopted? Which is it?
I thought foundlings were all adopted.
Yeah, they just steal kids to replenish their ranks, which is getting a little weird. Come on, guys. Especially with this whole helmet thing. How do they have sex? But they come back and they have the most awkward moment of the Mandalorians clapping, basically, which is just them hitting their wrists together for clapping. But it's like, really? You couldn't have picked a more awkward way to celebrate? Really? All right, go with it, I guess.
Yeah.
And somehow they decide to bring back the baby dactyl things and are like, oh, we have new foundlings. What? Are they trying to get like things that are going to be basically the new basilisk war droids? I mean, I don't know what's going on here.
Bro,
are they going to wear Mandalorian helmets
too? I didn't even think about that. Where are their basilisk war droids? You're telling me they're decommissioned? There's not a singular basilisk war droid?
That was for the old days, the real Mandalorians. But then Bo-Katan goes off with the armor to get some new pauldrons made.
Bro.
And she asks for her night owl or whatever, and then she asks for if she can have what does it matter anyways? But she asks if she could have the mythosaur. Like, and then this is the funny thing, because she brings up that she saw the mythosaur to the armor, but she didn't mention it at all to Dim Jughead.
Right.
She just asked him, "Did you see anything down there when you fell down?"
Right.
And he's like, "No." So she left it at that. She didn't mention a damn thing to him, but she mentions it to the armor, a person who she's never met.
She's more important. She has more prestige.
I guess so.
This is the way. Why you keep asking?
That's right. I'm sorry. You're right. This is the way. Oh, God.
Don't ask questions. Just consume product. And get ready for more product.
Basically. And that's effectively where we leave the episode. Is that she's getting new pauldrons made.
I'm very curious now if Tarvis was still gonna go after the Darksaber because his great
I don't know. I thought there was gonna be something of that in this episode, but no, he was
because now Mando saved his son, and I think he's going to now be forever in his debt, and I don't think he'll go after it.
I don't think so.
I think if anything, he'll be the best man to Mando when they get married. Him and Bo talks Karen.
It wouldn't surprise me at this point.
I don't know. I don't know where it's either she has feelings for Mando, or she's doing all this stuff with her armor or whatever, and bring up the mythosaur because she somehow, I don't know. I think she doesn't want anything to do with Rule anymore. I think where they're going with the plot is, I think she has found her new calling, and I really think they're going to set Mando up as the new Mandalore, the new leader. They're going to replace Boba Fett with him.
I mean, I guess
if you think about it, look at the things that Boba said in Book of Mando. Didn't he himself say, "I'm not worthy to lead," or "I would rule with respect"? Or
that was his whole thing was taking over the place in freaking Mos Espa or whatever, or Jabba's palace. I'll rule with respect. But then at the end of it, I don't think we're cut out for this. It's like,
right,
dude, piss off.
So, I think Din Jughead is going to be the new Boba. I think they got their use out of Boba. They're going to put him in the closet, put him in the corner. Nobody puts baby in the corner. They're going to put him in the corner, and Mando is now going to replace Boba. He will now, later down the line, will be Boba will phase out, and Mando will be the only Mando, or will be the Basically, Boba's going to be just a memory. Mando's going to be the future. Yoda's going to be the past. Grogu's going to be the future. Luke's going to be the past. Grogu's going to be the Grand Maester. Mace Windu's not going to come back. Ahmed Best is going to be the new Mace. I don't know. I still think they'll bring back Mace. I honestly do. I think they will bring back Samuel L. Jackson. Mark my words. At 226 minutes, I guarantee, because he's already talked about this. Samuel L. Jackson has gone on to the BBC.
Here's the other thing too. Is apparently, we might be getting Boba Fett in this season, because this was apparently Boba Fett in Mando season 3 leaked. Apparently, Boba Fett, as seen in Book of Boba Fett, appears on new official season 3 poster for The Mandalorian. And there he is in the bottom right-hand corner, because like the verse says, it's either that or it's just fan art. But
yeah, so I don't know. I could be wrong, but I
don't know either.
But it makes sense though, because if you weren't done with, like, if you had plans not to sabotage Boba, or if you had plans of actually like continuing, why was Book of Boba such just an atrocity? Yeah, your writers sucked, and you can't tell a story, and you just really suck as a company, right? But, you had to bring Mando in to save this show. Unless you're just trying to establish your Mandoverse, which that could be possible too, but you have portrayed Boba as a joke.
Yes,
this Boba is a joke. This Boba, I don't think, and again, I'm not a Mandalore guy, like I'm not a Mandalorian lore expert, but the simple fact that he spent time with Tuskens, one of the most guarded species with outsiders, like
apparently dances with Tuskens.
Like, I guess we need to ask Tusken Bob, because he's the expert with, and that's his whole his interest when he's dancing with the Tuskens with the fire. I think that Mando's going to be the next Boba. Grogu's going to replace Yoda. It's all about killing off. It's all about killing.
I have to kill the past, right?
You killed off Han. Kylo stabbed his dad, so Han's gone. Leia died and disappeared in the Force like Luke did. Only that she hasn't come back yet, like Luke did. But again, obviously Carrie Fisher's dead, but still, CGI, all that. Obviously, it's not outside the realm of possibilities, because they did it with Tarkin and Rogue One. Billy D. Williams Lando's off somewhere on Batu or Tatooine or wherever else they went with the Rise of Palpatine, that movie where he came back. So he's off doing something else, wherever. He probably won't come back because he's doing the new Batman with Michael Keaton. But yeah, you're essentially killing off these characters. Luke is a broken, like, Luke is not even Luke.
No, he's gonna be leading
Jake Skywalker. What do they call him? Jake Skywalker?
Yep. Jake Skywalker.
Like, he's not even, he doesn't even know what he's doing. And in that part, in that stage of his life, like, you would think that he would be a little bit more established, because and again, this timeline's so hard, but wasn't he creating the new Jedi? Wasn't he establishing the new temple at this point in time?
Yeah.
Within actual canon, like, not Disney canon, I'm talking about like Star Wars canon. But this guy keeps like, I just don't want to fail him, or I just don't know why he's not learning. I just don't want to, like, whatever he said in regards to Grogu to Ahsoka. And Ahsoka's giving him advice. And how old is it? That's another thing. Ahsoka should be like 70 years old at this point in time.
Right.
Like, I don't know if Togrutas, how they age, but Homegirl does not look like, she looks like she's 20. Does not look like she's 70. And the fact that she's trying to get Luke's chain code is a whole nother issue. We're talking about robbing the cradle.
Right. As you say,
we're either watching one Mando or one Bad Batch, or we're watching two Bad Batches and no Mando. You take your pick, because I cannot do 3. I will lose my mind.
We can lose our minds together.
I don't even like. Where are you going to go from here? Where do you go? What's the next episode bring?
Well, that's the question, though, isn't it? Because it's like,
and here's another thing: you go back to Tatooine. Why has Boba not been in any of these episodes? You're back on Tatooine. He's still at Mos Espa. Why have you not to go see him?
I don't know.
Why
the thing is, like, Dim Jughead
is not that far from Mos Espa.
Dim Jughead has no desire. He made it clear that he doesn't want to rule or lead the Mandalorians. He tried giving the Darksaber back to Bo-Katan. He's like, I don't want it. Take it. I don't care. At the end of season 2, he didn't want the Darksaber, but it's like, oh no, it has to be taken by combat. So he was effectively like stuck with the thing. So, I mean, but he's made it clear he doesn't want anything to do with this. He doesn't want to lead. He just wants to do his thing. But what does he do now? Where does he go from here? There's like no setup for anything that was going to be going forward for this episode, other than them farting around going after a dinosaur.
I just got it. Boba, Finnick. You got Finnick and Boba. Botox Karen is Finnick to Mando.
I mean, maybe.
I don't know. I don't know where you go, man. I don't know.
But again, there's nothing set up for what's supposed to go forward.
So if that's fan art, that's one thing. But like, why would you bring Boba back now when he's been on this? Like, you've been on Tatooine how many times this season? And you've not. And why could you not, like, don't you think Boba would not have some type of, well, maybe not, because Boba was born on Camino, but do you think he would have any knowledge of Mandalore? Do you have any idea, like, why would you? No,
he's been so disconnected at this point. Being born on Camino and everything.
But his dad was Jango.
Yeah, but even Jango didn't take him to Mandalore at any point, I don't believe. He just was raising him on Camino.
I don't know.
So, yeah,
I'm just trying to find a better reason as to why involve an R5 droid. And why is he not going after trying to find the motherboard chip for IG-8? Like,
that doesn't matter anymore because he got the stupid R5 droid.
But again, it's like, it's so like, oh, squirrel.
Yeah.
It's so bouncy. And then she's not even broken up over her castle that just got blown up. Like, she doesn't even care because she's fallen in love with Mando. She's found her new.
She did quickly forget about her castle being blown up. Yeah. She's not like, all right, I want to fight. Now that I got you back here, I'm going after the Sons of Guns that blew up my castle.
Like, you know what? I'm having feelings for this guy. Calavera was just desolate anyways. I don't want anything to do with Calavera anymore.
I am done with that planet.
The real game here, the real aim for her is to get the Darksaber and rebuild Mandalore, but I don't think so. I don't think they'll go that route. I think she will fall in love with Mando. That's honestly what I think.
But like you kind of pointed out,
she'll become the stepmom to Grogu.
She's basically already won the Darksaber because Mando got beat by that stupid Grievous wannabe robot thing. The saber was taken away from him. Bo-Katan comes along, takes up the Darksaber, destroys the thing. She basically won it by combat. It's hers. There's no reason for her not to take it.
I don't believe you can count that because the Grievous guy didn't challenge him in a duel.
I don't think it has to be a challenge. It has to be won in combat. They did not make it clear that it had to be a challenge or anything, just that it had to be won in combat.
Moff Gideon explains it though.
No, he didn't. Did he?
Are you sure?
I don't think he did.
I'm pretty sure he did.
All right, cite me. Where?
I mean, I don't listen. I'm not arguing. I thought that there was a point because he explained to him that Bo-Katan needed the Darksaber. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I could be wrong. But I thought there was a point, like before that battle, before they fought, or maybe it was after they fought that she wanted it, but now she can't have it because he.
No, it got brought up about the whole thing that it has to be won in combat. Oh, hey, Sentinel. What's up, buddy?
Sentinel, what's up?
He says, so the Darksaber eventually becomes a strap-on that Poe uses against Mando? How very Disney Plus in 2023.
Maybe Sentinel knows about the whole Darksaber being one in combat. I thought it had to be.
It has to be one in combat, but I don't believe there has to be a challenge made for it.
I don't know.
It can just be one in combat, so.
I don't know. She did use it very well after that. But again, that doesn't make any sense because Mando was the rightful he was the rightful winner after Moff Gideon and he still couldn't use it. So maybe it's because
but like it is that just more of a because he didn't feel like he was a Mandalorian because of taking off his helmet, so he has this mental block.
Are they going back to Thor not feeling worthy and not being able to pick up Mjolnir?
Oh, there you go. There's a better analogy for it. Yeah, there you go.
Could because Steve Rogers is a man of integrity and could pick up Mjolnir I believe I'm not a Marvel fan by any means, but I thought Mjolnir was only supposed to be picked up by either Thor or those
worthy of it.
Worthy. And Thor was the one that was worthy of it other than Steve Rogers.
At the time, but then Steve Rogers, yes, proved he was worthy of it.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Although Sentinel's idea that it's going to be used as a strap-on seems very likely. Bo-Katan will clearly peg the shit out of Dim Jughead.
She used that like she was a Jedi. Here's a theory: what if she's going to be the next? She'll be the next Mandalorian Jedi. It's actually not going to be Grogu. No, I think it'll be Grogu.
I mean, I hope not, but at the same time, it wouldn't surprise me any.
Well, you bring it, like I said, you brought up a really interesting point about the killing off of the characters. What was going to happen with Boba, and what's going to happen with Grogu?
Yeah,
who's going to replace Luke? It's not Kylo. Kylo got killed. So we know.
Yeah.
Apparently. Or he fell down and he's going to be... Maybe Kylo is the new Cybaoth. Because he fell down He pulled a Palpatine and fell down the old... the ravine.
He falls back in time?
Yeah.
Oh, fudge. Oh.
Dude. When he fell down, there was a door that led to the World Between Worlds?
Oh,
there was a door down there. He fell down like Oliver Queen did after he got beat by Raish, and there was a door on the ledge that he went into. Actually, down there, because it didn't show you down there. That temple was the World Between Worlds temple, honestly. And he goes back in time, and Kylo's the Cybaoth. Why he knows so much about Luke. Bro.
You know what? Why not? Why the hell not? Just freaking do it.
He knows everything about Luke. And he has a vengeance. He has every reason to hate Luke. Kylo's the Cybaoth. Bro, my mind's blown right now. Why was Cybaoth so interested in getting Luke, dude? You think Cybaoth was interested in getting Luke because he knew he was going to be married to Mara? You think it was
Mara doesn't exist. That doesn't exist in this universe. No, stop it.
I'm just saying, you think he was so interested in Luke because of the Islamari? However, I can never pronounce it. Do you know the Islamari?
The things that Thrawn used to nullify the Force.
Yeah. Bro, Kylo's Cybaoth. If you spell sci-bi off backwards, it spells out Kylo Ren. Did you know that?
Oh, you're making that shit up. Knock it off. Knock it off.
In Latin, it does. I don't know, dude. This is what's so stupid about this. And again, it's not outside the realm of possibilities because they even came up with the world between worlds thing, which is just dumb. Basically, it's time travel. It's the Tesseract. It is the Tesseract of Star Wars. It can alter reality.
It's the Deus Ex Machina device for Star Wars.
It is literally their way to retcon everything without politically coming out and saying we're retconning stuff. They have created a way that they could go back in time and erase something from happening, or they can go back and they can go into an alternate reality and change things. But they're not legally changing anything because that would be whatever contracts they had. Like they can't change, they can't retcon the original trilogy because apparently George that was in a contract.
No, they're just rewriting everything around the universe.
I understand. I don't have the contract. This is what I had heard. I had to figure. I don't even know how to find that contract. But apparently, George, from what I heard, he said you cannot touch original trilogies. That is like once he's sold. That was a thing that I heard. Even I think Davi also maybe brought this thing up. I don't know. But the war, or I keep saying war between worlds. Damn you, Tom Cruise. War. What was that? What was the
World Between Worlds? Yeah.
Was it War Between Worlds?
Sure.
Okay, the one with Tom Cruise. Anyways, this thing is just ridiculous, and so it's not outside the realm of possibilities. It's not outside. They literally gave a clone trooper a Pringle brain, and you're over here arguing with me, thinking that the World Between Worlds. God, I'm gonna eat this can. I'm gonna eat my bubbly can. But yeah, Sentinel, like the Darksaber. This is going to be almost as effective as plot armor as the Beskar.
Wait, what?
Did I say? I didn't say that right. It was in my head. I formulated it in my head better. The Darksaber is going to become just as important as the Beskar.
It basically already is, yeah. If not more so important than Beskar.
She's not going to lead the Mandalorians. Oh, wait, hold on.
You know what? You keep rambling about this. I'll be right back. I got to hit the bathroom really quick. I'll be right back.
Well, this is really important.
Well, keep going. I'll listen.
Good. Love it. Bo is going to be, they're basically, Mando said he doesn't want to lead. So Bo is going to probably maybe end up leading, and then Mando's going to bow the knee to Bo, and she's going to become the new thing because the Force is female. Bro, I just blew my mind. I don't know. Oh, there. I could be wrong. I don't know. Put this thing in. But we'll see. There's something I want to pull up here. I'll find it.
Okay. What was it you wanted to pull up?
Oh, did you hear what I was saying about how the Force is female and Bo is going to become the
Force female, all that jazz? Yep.
Yeah. Because it's all about women now.
Yep. All about the whammons.
And then Din Djarin's going to apologize for thousands of years of oppression to the House of Craze and all the females that were Mandalorians before.
Has to do one big apology tour.
Yeah.
Oh, so is that what he was doing in the droid bar then that we saw in the trailer? He's apologizing to the droids?
Probably.
I mean, hey, why not, right?
No. I need to go get myself an enema. After watching this episode. Just after watching this episode.
Yeah, I'd certainly like a good mind enema.
With hot sauce.
Maybe we can get that mind wipe device from the last episode.
Oh, you bastard.
And just fry our own brains away.
God, what an episode.
Quite. And, you know,
we're gonna have to start at 2:00 next freaking Saturday if we're doing all these episodes. We're gonna be on till 8:00.
Right?
Maybe not, because I'm assuming Bad Batch will probably be 5 minutes each.
You don't think much will happen in
no, they've had 16 episodes to do something,
and they've 16. Done jack shit,
and they've done nothing. So, like, what do you think?
No, it'll. Well, I don't know. It might. God. For all we know, yes, it could wind up being finally something happening to just wrap up this season. But I mean, there's not much to wrap up this season, anyways, considering it's been a big old nothing burger. So,
well, that's what I was telling you. Like, they're gonna bleed over to season 3.
Possibly. I mean, it all depends, right? But I mean, how? If anything, I've seen more people talking about Mandalorian than I've seen people talking about Bad Batch. But that could just be because I'm not following the right circles. So
you're not following Star Wars theory.
Exactly. But I mean, even from his own poll, more people voted on Mandalorian than they did on Bad Batch.
Well, I don't know, because it could be split down the middle, because I don't know, because he was, no, that's probably true, because he was talking about, like, should I do another stream for Bad Batch or just do both in one stream? And everybody's like, do all in one stream, but do Mando first.
Well, there you have it.
Okay. I'll give myself an enema, a mind enema. Okay, 2:48. We almost went as long as Tim did last night.
Yep.
Only covered just 2 things. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how they do it. They cover a lot of stuff in the course of 3 hours.
Yeah, I mean, we could cover more, but it's just like we get into so much about the episodes themselves, which even though that they were nothing but, it's funny, we still managed to find stuff just to rail on about.
But it's at this point, that's not even nitpicking. It's like straight up like,
no,
there were some serious issues.
Yeah, I think we bring up more than just nitpicks. I think we actually bring up some good, serious, legitimate issues.
Like, you're gonna have the audacity, like I said, and I'm not gonna start because we're already at 2 hours, almost 2 hours 50 minutes. But it's like, if you're gonna bring back have a PTSD moment, you need to make sure all your holes are plugged.
Yeah, absolutely.
So pumped Sentinel came in. I haven't seen Sentinel in a while. I saw you pop up.
Pop in more. What the hell? He used to pop in a lot.
I know.
What the hell?
Been busy. Saw him last night on the space. Well, I was on the space. I caught the replay. I saw he was on the spacing. He's
like the first one in the door, the spacing as well.
What was in there? The first one in the door. Good on you.
So yeah, I think we'll. Hey, there he is. He's back again.
Nice.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it, sir. Glad to hear it.
So, not I have anything. Maybe we'll try to get into some articles next week, because I don't want to end on I basically don't want to go eat my potato gun at the end of the show.
I understand.
So,
all right.
I don't have anything else. Do you got anything?
I mean, we've already gone this long, not in particular. I think we kind of addressed as much as we needed to with these episodes and stuff like that. So I think we can call it. But again, Brandon Tran, thanks for dropping in and commenting as you did. Emperor Doomsday as well. And of course, like we were just saying, Sentinel, always good to see you, brother. thank you all for stopping in. Also on the Rumble side, I had chatter drop in. Red Pill and Grill says, "Follow me for music. Love y'all." Much love back at you. Thanks for dropping in. So yeah, hey, we've been getting plenty of views on Rumble as well, which has been great. It's been certainly when I do streams directly to Rumble, it gets a good chunk of views. So
we should just do
it's getting traction over there, so that's cool. And so we may or may not do the Sunday night Shenanigans stream tomorrow. We'll see. If anything, maybe just my brother and I will do our usual run of some characters. But keep a lookout. I'll be trying to do a little more streams this week, but my brother and I have been really kind of preoccupied playing we picked up WWE
Diablo 4. Did you do Diablo 4?
Fuck no. I picked up WWE 2K23 though.
You are such a shyster.
My brother and I have been having fun with that. Hey, when you have fat druids in Diablo 4, no thank you. Druids are not fat.
You're rude.
I say this as a fat bastard myself. Yeah. There should be no fat druids.
Yeah. I can't with you.
But I'll try and get back to some streaming next week. I've been a little off on it, but I'll try and get back to being a good boy. Yes. Otherwise, everybody, thanks for showing up. Much appreciated.
Always a pleasure. Always fun.
And thank you to anybody that catches this on the replay. Greatly appreciate it. Love to hear any comments that you have, what you think about our nonsense. It's always fun and interesting.
Suggestions that you want to see? Anything you want to see different?
Yeah, pop a line or two. Throw some hints, whatever it may be. Otherwise, with that, I'll say good night and have a good one and catch you.
Play us out
later.
What is thy bidding, my master?
Yeah, I should have known from the very beginning. From what you said. Yeah, when the mega powers were formed. Yeah, what you were out for from the very beginning. Yeah, you were after what was mine. I remember what you said.
You can destroy the Emperor. Join me. Together, we can rule the galaxy as father and son.
Yeah, that one was rough. Those words right there. Yeah, I got stuck, yeah, but I swallowed it anyway. Didn't like the taste, but I swallowed it anyway, yeah. But I remember the time when there was a conquistador out of the ring, the one that's so jealous that he can't stand it, yeah. Yeah, you came in there with your poses, yeah, but you made a big idiot out of yourself, yeah. And speaking of idiot things, what about that stupid idea? Did you forget that one? Think back. That right there sealed your fate. Yeah, that put the madness over the edge. But I'll tell you what felt even better, yeah, was in the dressing room, in the first aid room. Me being unselfish, yeah, said go ahead, do the thing, yeah. You won't steal my thunder, no. When you take a look at the madness's eyes, all you're gonna see is complete and utter